with you.
Yes, and a bit of pushing and shoving as the game started. And Luke Darcy is starting on the ground. We thought he was starting on interchange.
That's a free kick, Peter.
So a free kick paid, something with that pushing and shoving behind the play. Kutafeti's been shoved by Hudson. He's letting Kutafetis know that he...
It's interesting. Did the ball get bounced? Because I
don't think so.
Paying it.
Grant has gone short.
I was just going to say there was pushing and shoving happening in about 4 parts of the ground, and that was the one that the umpire saw. Yeah.
Darren Goldspink gave a free kick because Kutafetis pushed Chris Grant over the line.
Should we suggest it's a Darren Goldspink free kick? Those controversial ones.
I'll leave that one alone.
So, Rowan Smith from just outside 50. He is a beautiful kick normally. It's drifting to the right.
That's a free kick.
And he has just missed it. Might be a free kick up here in the goal square.
And we should reiterate, we're talking about a Darren Goldspink type free kick. Of course, he's not umpiring today, Darren Goldspink, but an umpire that I think we all think is quite happy to make the controversial decision.
The free kick happened there. Silvani tipped over Chris Grant on the forward line.
Well, a great camera shot of this now. He'll run around and have a left foot snap. That's good thinking by Grant. I think he's kicked it, bent it back too far and has just missed, but the thinking was right.
Do you think it's Chris Grant's lucky day? He's got 2 free kicks in the first minute of play from just a little too severe opposition attention. Interesting, Craig Bradley going back to kick in to try and make the precise kick count.
Well, he had 2 or 3 options there. Oh, playing on was Dielio. He's caught. That's holding the ball, surely. No.
Broke the tackle, didn't he?
As the kick, well, he did it finally. Here's Wine giving it further afield to Croft. They go forward again, the Bulldogs through Dent. Dent is looking for Hudson. Ramiro came in to lend a hand. Bradley deep in defence. He was sensational against the Crows last week in that brilliant victory. Here's Ratton giving it off. Now Dimartino. Oh, he was caught high. And Paul Dimartino will take this kick for the Bulldogs at half-forward. He plays on. He's gone out here wide to Darcy, who breaks the tackle onto his left. He bends it back with a brilliant-looking kick. Goal! A brilliant goal to Luke Darcy.
Well, they have jumped out of the blocks, haven't they, Couchy? So far in this first couple of minutes of play, the ball has been in the Bulldogs' forward half.
And it's been very, very tough in the clinches too, and there's been a lot of free kicks given, especially Carlton have given away 2 or 3 free kicks, and you see in that tackle there, Silvani's been hurt, and he's okay now.
Not too often a Silvani tackle gets broken, as it was on that occasion.
Just great aggression.
Well, it'd take a fair bit to hurt Stephen Silvani.
Here we are, we see just that high tackle for Dimartino. He played on quickly. I don't know whether it was a great percentage option, and really I thought Silvani probably should have actually made the tackle, but he missed it. Goal resulted.
Great kick by Luke Darcy, left foot snap. Fantastic play early, and he was good in the second half last week.
So top start, or crooked bounce by the umpire. Allen is here to Fraser Brown, who was also good against the Crows. Oh, that's high on Murphy. It'll come back to the centre of the ground. You can hear the roars of delight of the Carlton supporters. Justin Murphy, another of their strong midfield last week. He's normally a great kick. That's a 60-metre kick to the half-forward line. It's thumped by Matthew Dent. And he is going for the safety of the boundary line, and it's over at half-forward for Carlton.
And one of the matchups was Scott West with Brett Ratton, both key players for either side, and it'll be interesting to see how they both go there today.
And it's interesting, Silvani has picked up Croft and Kutafetis has picked up Grant. So Croft came up to midfield with Silvani, and Grant playing pretty much one out across that half-forward line.
So West with a quick hand pass around the boundary line. Dielio quite happy to see it roll over.
Do you think Anthony Kutafetis will keep up with Chris Grant, though, Lee, with his great aerobic capacity, Chris Grant? Do you think Anthony Kutafetis is a hard runner himself?
Well, I guess that's what they're going to prove. The last month, Kuta's been struggling a little bit, so they've just put him on the opposition's best player and said, will you try and shut him out of the game? That's a pretty good basic starting point.
The ball on centre wing, Darcy not able to pick it up. Ratton working hard, grabs it and belts it down towards the full forward line. The Flyers are there. Hamill was from behind. Oh, Alice was caught high by Whitnall. Not paid. Grabbed by Ronnie Dielio. The bounce important. Here's the goal coming up to Allen. He's missed. He had to kick that low. And he hurried the kick and missed.
Interesting that Allen's bobbed up in the forward goal square. He actually did that well last week against Sean Wren and Scott Wine and Wren, similar types of players that you would think Allen is going to take the punt as much as possible to get in and play as something like a de facto full forward line player.
That's exactly right, Lee. He's going to push forward at every occasion, and he kicked 3 goals last week against Sean Wren, who's a very, very good player, one of the top players. But Scotty Wine, when he's fit and ready to go, the Bulldogs generally play very, very well.
Well, the legends stand at the back of Matthew Dent there. There's a shot of it. Well, probably a little bit more full than it's been in recent weeks. A pretty big crowd here. Of course, it costs a lot more to take a seat up there. Darcy has taken a mark. He's taking a punt, a dangerous punt. It's a bad kick. Whitnell to Diulio. It's going to cost the Bulldogs a goal. It does. It looked dangerous, Lee, right from the start.
Well, inside out. If you're out to near the outside, go back into the centre corridor. It's a good attacking strategy, but if you lose possession, you know what's going to happen. The centre corridor forward attacking side is opened up, and I guess playing on from that half-back position back inside until you've had a chance to assess your options. Really, he's missed Wine by a good 10 metres. That was a poor kick out.
It was an absolutely terrible turnover, Lee, and Lance Whitnell, who was very good last week, involved in that bit of play, handballing it off to Ron Doolio, and a great goal.
Very unselfish play that by Whitnell. Could have turned round, had a ping himself, but did the team thing. So back we go to the centre with scores level. Wine did that very, very well. Hurry kick comes down the half-foot line, but Manton has taken it over to Silvani. That strong Carlton defence. A good kick too out to Allen. Allen gives it off to Sexton. Here come the Blues again. And Diulio having a terrific start to this game. Drives it low. Well, it ended up too high. It's bent around the corner. That is by Fraser Brown.
Oh.
Kicked in by Pearce for a goal. Tremendous play.
Yes, they got forward, didn't they, the Carlton players? It was interesting. Craig Bradley has just bobbed up at full forward. It looks like Jose Ramiro is his direct opponent, and so Carlton have just popped Bradley into the full forward line position, one out against Ramiro. That's an interesting tactic. We'll observe that with interest, but the spoil was good, but good crumbing by Brown.
It was a great kick by Brown too, to square the ball up into the full forward line, and great smart play by Pearce to use his feet, not grab it and take his time, and a great goal by Brad Pearce.
So Carlton by 6 points, a good start to the Blues. They'll be full of confidence after their huge win. Well, not huge in terms of points scored. There's Ratton going forward again. Taken down here by Silvani. Diulio, a quick kick down towards the forward line. Another one coming up maybe to Camporelli. He's got it. Bends it back. It's another one to Carlton, their third.
Well, terrific open forward play then by Carlton. It's almost a North Melbourne tactic, Couchy. Open up the forward line, kick it in and chase it hard.
Push everybody forward, but it was great play.
It was Adam White that gave off the handball. I think I said Silvani. I saw the long sleeves.
But it was a great play by Matthew Allen to get the hard ball to Brett Ratton, and that's where in through the centre clearance there. Quick kick by Delulio, and look what happens. A bit of luck evolves. Scott Camporelli picks up the loose ball and goals. It was great work in through the centre bounce there.
Well, they're fired up, Carlton. They lead by 12 points. Let's see there.
And they've certainly got the Bulldogs defence off the bit already. Crediuk's gone on to Bradley. Ramiro's gone on to White. So they're all over the shop at the moment.
Allen and White. Allen won it with the left hand. Taken by Scott West. Bending it back towards the half-forward line. Hudson has taken the mark. A nice kick. Montgomery at the back. Ross just did enough to spoil him. The Blues pounce on it. Smith appealing for a free kick for holding the ball, but the umpire having none of that, he's going to bounce.
And that'll be a great matchup. Dean Rice up against Montgomery, because they're both marking players, got good size and good strength upper body.
It's right in front of the Bulldogs goal, and there are numbers back there. Allen stayed in front of the pack. Curley is there.
Since we talk about forward structure, sorry to interrupt you, Pete, we've got a ball up on the goal square in Carlton's defence. There is, well, virtually no one forward of centre for Carlton at the moment. They just cleared out their forward half completely, and it's a tactic we see pretty often in league footy these days, of actually just virtually having no one in your forward line.
Well, it's going to get harder and harder to be a forward. That's kicked by Curley off the ground for a goal. Brilliant goal.
Great play by Todd Curley. Quick thinking under pressure. Pack around him. Quick boot to the ball and a goal. Great play by Todd Curley.
We see a lot of soccer goals in the modern era. I sometimes wonder whether players have got a better percentage chance by trying to pick the ball up. Obviously, he didn't have a chance to pick the ball up then, but really the soccer skills are just fantastic.
There he is, Todd Curley. He had a stint at Collingwood.
And I think Craig Bradley might be going off with the blood rule as we await this centre bounce.
Matthew Hogg-Lee.
Well, there has been a lot of wrestling and scragging in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game, so I'm not surprised somebody's... looks like he's got a blood nose.
There's Barry Mitchell, the former Swans champion, down there in his role for the Blues on the boundary line. Justin Murphy being spoken
checked
to
as
by
well.
the umpire.
Another one.
Another blood rule.
We might take a while to get this going because he's been blood ruled as well. See that little bit on his neck?
Yeah, a little scratch.
Gee, it doesn't take much, does it?
Looks more like a love bite, doesn't it?
There has been a lot of wrestling and scragging, and so there's going to be a few scratches and a light bleed there. A bit of Vaseline will do the trick, and you're back on again.
Yes, and there's been a lot of talk this week, hasn't there? A young guy in the amateurs who's HIV positive, whether he can actually get permission or to keep playing. So I guess certainly it's been well documented the last couple of years. Any blood on a player, he has to leave the field, no matter how small.
How would you feel about that, Lee? The bloke if you knew his HIV?
Well, it is a difficult one, isn't it? I guess, as someone said, if we go again, let's go on with the play.
So Simon Beaumont has come onto the ground. Here's Michael Martin, and he is very, very quick. And that is a magnificent kick on as he turned. He has found Brad Wirra way out on centre wing. Gives off a hand pass to Cameron. Cameron loves to kick on the left. Look at that bending kick. That is a terrific kick. All the markers dropped down there by Curley. Taken away by Franchina to the half-forward line. And Steve Prediuk, a good solid defender, has taken the mark. He's had a lot of hamstring trouble over the years, Prediuk, and today it's the sort of day could easily tear one too. Curley onto Craig Ellis. 2-on-1 here. Two Bulldogs. Almost a free kick given away. White did well. Franchino. All the umpires paid the free kick to Beaumont. Didn't travel far. Beaumont with that sweeping left foot of his finds D'Elio, who's getting plenty of touches. A chip kick. Oh, it's over the back. Hamill races back after it.
Good coverage by Cameron, wasn't it?
Yeah, Cameron did very, very well to Wirra. Wirra's caught. That might be holding the ball. It is.
Well, isn't that one of those situations where the ball was play on? He's played the advantage. But yeah, I think he relaxed because he actually thought he was over the boundary line.
The umpire will come and bounce it now. This is David Howlett, the umpire.
Yeah, because as we know, the last couple of months, really early in the year, you didn't have to have the ball for long to be pinged holding the ball. But these days, you got to hang on to it for a fair margin.
I thought he was over the line, Lee.
Wasn't the finish, that's for sure. Now, that's a funny old hand pass. Socked it off the ground. That was by D'Elio. Ellis ran past it. Whitnell. Oh, look at this kick. It just can't bend it round enough, and Matthew Dent is there.
He just didn't think his way through then.
No.
Well, he actually, I guess he hasn't got eyes in the back of his head, but he could have just ran into the open goal. He certainly had the yard advantage. He just didn't quite take enough time to get balanced. 7
points Carlton lead by. Matthew Dent brings it in the half back and finds Cameron. He's a natural right footer, but he kicks on the right foot this time. This is Matthew Croft. It's amazing how many players get loose these days as coaches flood the back line. There's Ellis. Chris Grant being picked up by Anthony Koutafidis. That'll be a terrific clash. He's another loose player. It's Ellis. He's coming towards the centre of the ground. And Todd Curley, a low trajectory kick, a difficult one to mark. Kick forward by Johnson. He tried to bend it around the corner and only succeeds in putting it out. Yeah, well, if you can say that there's a midfield and obviously two forward lines, today it's a very big midfield. There might be one or two players in each forward half.
I think the only set forward is Chris Grant, Lee, centre half forward, but everybody else is just going up and down the ground. We saw Silvani play in the forward line for Carlton just 30 seconds ago. Now he's in the back line.
Yeah.
And Matthew Dent is down there on his own for the Bulldogs. Kicked away by Andrew McKay. Oh, that is a very good mark. D'Elio having a very good turn. Onto the left. Brings it out towards Whitnell. He's got the sit. Can't mark. It's at half forward for Carlton. Ellis. A quick hand pass because he's under enormous pressure. Now Michael Martin. I mentioned how quick he is. He's tackled there by White. He was tripped too low, said the umpire. He's grabbed below the knee.
In fact, today Rowan Smith's playing very deep. He actually looks like he's playing as he started the game anyway as the full forward line player for the Bulldogs, but even he's pushed upfield now. I think it's just a mass of rotating players.
Michael Martin kicks it over centre wing. Darcy's got a couple to beat. Manton headed for the line, and so does Pearce, and puts it over in front of the Carlton.
Carlton's full forward on the half-back flank.
Actually, there's 34 midfielders.
That's what there is, yeah.
I'm glad I'm retired from full forward play, Lee.
You'd have to be too fit now.
Well, with these packed back lines, my goodness me, it would be difficult.
It's like the ultimate defence is to actually take you forward up the other end of the field, so he's a long way from goal.
Well, Murphy with a booming kick to half. Well, there's Dent, who we said was on his own. Well, he couldn't quite mark. Whitnell did well. Sexton knocks it on. He was looking for Camporelli. Still a chance, though, because this is Aaron Hamill. It sits for him. Kicks.
Oh, great.
Oh, great goal by Hamill.
It's pretty tough and hard, Aaron Hamill. You've seen him do some great tackles there, but it's great work there to use the body on Crediok there, just push him off. And he's been a real find for Carlton on the half-forward line this year. It was a great goal, great thinking goal. Thought himself...
Tipsy here when he actually just knocks the ball in front of him and then just holds his line over the ball. The momentum he had, I wondered whether he could have straightened up too, but certainly off the outside of the right foot was a very, very classy finish.
13 points the margin in favour of Carlton. Again, it's Wind and Allen. Oh, Allen won it with that left hand. Wind actually doing the roving in the finish. Here's Bradley, almost stripped. Murphy, he's playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. He's dragged in under. The ball was dragged in underneath him. That was by an opposition player. So umpire Tim Shearer will bounce it.
And Matthew Allen's a real big key for Carlton. If he can get on top of Scott Wind here, it really gives Carlton a great lead into the game. He's sensational last week. They win the game against Sean Wren, and Scotty Wind's equal to Sean Wren in status.
Well, Wind won that one. It's flicked over the back. Sexton is there against Croft. Sexton goes to ground, was caught high, and it is Michael Sexton's free kick. Now he's going to give this off. He's going to bring it out wide because there's a good lead made by White. Adam White has taken the mark. A good kick, a low trajectory one, finds Dean Rice. That's a nice mark out in front of his eyes. Rice, back he goes to Silvani. He's a rocket Gibraltar down there, and that's a good kick also.
It is good play, isn't it? If you're going to try and get Allen to run Wind around, you've got to use him when he gets clear, as they did then.
And that's a clear indication. Carlton are looking for him every time in through the back line, in through the centre field.
Manton to Kutafidis to Fraser Brown was champagne football, and Fraser Brown telling the umpire where the man on the mark should be.
It was a nice kick, wasn't it? I saw Kuta play a month ago against Fremantle in Carlton, against Fremantle in Perth. It was almost sad. He really looked like a player who'd lost the urge to play. But I reckon he's on the way back, which is terrific news.
It's good to get him to
Fraser Brown kicks and misses. You were saying, Paul?
I reckon it's good to give him a job and let him feel good about himself.
Yeah.
If he plays well, don't worry about getting a kick. Turn the roles around. Instead of being hunted all the time, let him be the hunter and let him look forward to the ball instead of having to turn around and go back down to the Carlton forward line.
So Matthew Dent, that tough back. Oh, it's a wobbly one. Sexton was there to smother it. Dimartino takes it over the line. But some good signs for Carlton. It's in just outside their 50-metre area.
They've been very aggressive. The tackling and hard work in and under has been a key for Carlton the last 3 weeks, and they continue today. And I was a bit worried about the Bullies today. I reckon Carlton will just about win it this game. I think it's an equal match, even though the ladder doesn't say so.
Michael Martin gives it off to Darcy. Good hand pass out in front of Johnson. Murphy's there. Still Johnson. He gives it off to West. West a little chip pass. Curley, a big chance here for the Bulldogs. Curley gives it back to West. This is good. Oh, an ordinary kick that misses the target, didn't he? Yeah. Makes an enormous difference if you can pinpoint those passes. Manton dives in there with enormous determination. The umpire will bounce again.
Yeah, just a skill level thing, wasn't it? Then Hudson was on his own. The kick went over his head. Otherwise, it only had to be an unpressured kick. Hudson's having a set shot from 30 metres.
Last week, the Bulldogs wouldn't have missed their target. It's just the pressure of Carlton just putting him off the game at the moment, Lee, I believe.
So Wine giving it off towards Grant, and we just saw a shot of James Cook coming onto the ground with that bleached blonde hair of his.
It is bleached blonde, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. That's no understatement.
Looks like a sheepdog.
So 35 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal. Allen caught at the back, tried to flick it with the right hand, socket off the ground by Johnson. Curley to Montgomery. Here's a goal coming up. Yes, good play.
It's a good finish then by Montgomery. Ball came clear. It was interesting last week. Said it in the preview. 8 marks in the first quarter he had last week, Montgomery. So it was an amazing first quarter. I think that might be his first touch today. But that little quick off the ground wasn't by Josh. I guess keep the ball running in the forward line, Couchy. That was the principle. They did it well.
Yeah, keep the ball alive. And Montgomery was sensational last week, and it's a good start by him today.
Dimittina and Diulio getting a warning from umpire Jim Shearer because I think one tried to push the other into the centre square area.
It's a good contest, though. A lot of pushing and shoving in one-on-one contest.
8 points the margin in favour of the Blues. Allen again wins the hit out. He's doing pretty well there. Sexton up in the air. White. Oh, doing nearly a mark. Not quite. Cameron takes it away from him. And Leon Cameron with that familiar lope of his. Croft at the back. Rice comes in to lend a hand to Manton. He dived on it and then gave it off. Sexton around the boundary line, just over on the full.
He'll be the tallest wingman's ever played, I reckon, Michael Sexton. He's actually played on the wing the last few weeks and done fairly well, but at 192 centimetres, that's a tall player.
All-Australian half-back playing on the wing.
All-Australian centre half-back, he's been a fantastic player. So, yeah, but with Cooter going back as the tall defender, they're getting good value out of Sexton as a winger.
So Matthew Dent looking for Wind. Oh, he's dropped it. I'm just wondering if that ball's a little bit slippery out there. It's a pretty dewy sort of a day. Oh, Dent ran straight at Sexton and tried to unload him. Centre wing. Oh, good play by Andrew McKay. And eventually gains about 20 metres and puts it round the boundary line.
We did have a little bit of rain before the game, Freddie. Yeah, we had a little bit of rain and it is a little bit dewy, but we did have a few spots of rain there. It is a little bit slippery down there on the ground level.
We can see the city from here in the background, and it's a misty sort of a day. No wind. In the back, I think, to Allen here. Yes, it is. The umpire right onto that one against Wine. He's doing all right, Alan Lee.
Yeah. No, he's got a bit more mobility than Scott Wine. I mean, he got the free kick then, but he's just actually making Wine think about his positioning.
Steve Crediel did well then with strength. The Dent, a very honest group, that back line. Oh, he went without it. Cameron, some good shepherding.
Signs aren't good, are they, for Bulldogs?
Allows White to give it to Fraser Brown. Camporelli has marked a good, strong mark, 45 metres from goal.
And it was into a nest of Bulldogs players, but Camporelli really went at it. The Bulldogs players all tending to look at each other a bit.
And if that was a Bulldogs player, he probably would have missed the mark. That's the difference between both sides here. One's taking the clean grab. They were white hot last week, the Bulldogs. Didn't have a lot of pressure, and Carlton are certainly putting the pressure on and putting him under a lot of pressure and making mistakes, the Bulldogs, in the first 10, 15 minutes.
I think you often know if you finish a game, well on top, and it's almost like a practice game, you're really not ready the following week for an all-out attack on the contest.
So Scott Camporelli, a very important kick coming up here. Right on 50, he will kick this. He's drifted it a little bit to the left and missed. Just kicking, accurate kicking for goal can be just so important, can't it?
You've got to make the most of your chances. They're hard to get. 4-4, 8 scoring shots to 4, but only a 9-point margin. So Carlton have not made the most of their chances to this point, whereas the Bulldogs have, I think.
Well, we just saw a concerned-looking Terry Wallace. Here's Brett Montgomery, one of the big improvers. Oh, that was a good hand pass. And a free kick has been paid here to Steve Crediel. He finds Wirra. The centre of the ground. This is Todd Curley again. Oh, nice kick. He was looking for Dimittina, I think. Alice tunnel balled it. He lost it, but he still got a free kick in the meantime against Chris Grant to Justin Murphy. Well, they were off and running then, the Bulldogs, so it was bad luck for them. Murphy was a beautiful kick. Let's see if I moz him. He's going backwards, actually, to create the loose man. And Whitnell, what's he doing? Way back there in defence. He has found Silvani. Silvani's got a loose man. It's Murphy in the centre of the ground. He can go and run. He can give it over the top. Here's Sexton, who, as Lee said, is playing on the wing. He bends it back looking for Beaumont. Oh! Almost a mark. Bratton. Beaumont. Diulio. Open goal. He's missed a sitter.
Oh, gee, they're on top, aren't they, Carlton? But they're actually just spoiling their chance. I mean, 20 metres out from straight in front, they're the ones that really you should be putting down and almost marking as the goal. They're a very easy shot. Beaumont just couldn't quite maintain possession, but Carlton set up the chance anyway.
Well, the Bulldogs on the back foot at the moment. The Blues playing well. Wine, he has it thumped away. That was by Allen. West, a clever little kick to the running Rowan Smith. It won't sit for him. McKay putting some pressure on. There's the pace of Martin. He is a super quick player. West. Oh, pressure by McKay. That was on Smith. Diulio. Now McKay. This is good play by the Blues. Courage needed. The ball at half forward for Carlton. Ronnie Diulio has got it. Can he kick it? He's brought down. He couldn't quite get his beat to it. He dives on it.
To be in the back.
Oh, it's in the back. A free kick to Diulio. He'll kick from 35.
Yes, it was just a desperation then by Delulio to actually dive on the ball. He dived first and then Dent dived second. We'll have a look at this. It was a good tackle then by Ellis. He just dives at the ball, but then Dent just a bit overzealous. Didn't quite get it. Jumped on top of Delulio. And really a pretty obvious free kick. Certainly 8-9 scoring shots to 4. They're on top, Carlton. They need this goal to make the most of their general play. Scoreboard is the only thing that counts, Pete, in the end.
Scoreboard pressure, and they have missed 2 or 3 absolute sitters. So this would make an enormous difference to their confidence as he stabs at this and kicks the goal. Well, the Blues on top here at Optus Oval. And I think I've got no doubt the confidence of knocking over the Crows on their home ground last week has done wonders for them.
Well, it's interesting. Delulio has had 11 possessions, 10 kicks, 1 handball already. He's playing on Paul Di Martino. Now, Paul Di Martino, we often think, tends to want to float around and be almost the forward of the play player for the Bulldogs. At the moment, Delulio is getting the ball on him plenty of times.
Well, some people, well, it would be a bit of a turn-up, although a few scribes felt coming to this game they were a big chance. The Bulldogs can fight back, though. Ratton's got the kick, but Bulldogs have often looked down, but they are a side that comes back.
They can. They're a good team, no doubt about that, but certainly in this early part of the game, they are right on the back foot.
Well, Ratton is looking for McKay out here at half forward. The umpire said some
shepherding. He paid a shepherd to Mackay when I thought he was going to actually play in the back because Mackay seemed to jump very early.
Well, it could easily have gone the other way, I think.
Well, I guess when you're playing well, you tend to get those half free kicks as well.
Oh, Mackay, a beautiful kick, and Carlton's kicking their actual passing of the ball. This one was to Beaumont, is outstanding at the moment.
The fact is they're winning the ball. The centre square clearances, I'm sure, are well Carlton's way, and basically they are maintaining possession, but first and foremost they're getting it first.
Simon Beaumont, a left footer from 35 metres directly in front, and he has kicked another goal for the Blues.
Yes, well, you do start to get a situation where a now 3-goal 4 margin. Bulldogs all of a sudden, this is just a bitty uncomfortable margin. They're going to have to try and turn this round. Good game of football, a game where the Navy Blues, the home side, are really making life very uncomfortable for their co-tenant.
Simon Beaumont being picked up by Dent. So the centre bounce, vitally important. Darcy is now in there. Fraser Brown crashes his way through. Here's Bradley. The ball over the back. Oh, Brown again. He's caught holding the ball. He's pinned red hot.
And Simon Garlick is actually being put out onto Ron Delulio now because just getting too much of the ball.
Matthew Dent is looking for an option, and he's found it in Ramiro. Jose Ramiro. Haven't seen a lot of him as yet.
They really need to settle here, Carl.
And there's a Koutafidis Grant pushing and shoving in the centre square as well.
Croft and Silvani. That's a tough ask for Matthew Croft. He's a good, honest player, but Silvani wears him like a glove. The kick off the ground was by Johnson. Here's Glenn Manton. Now it's Scott Camporelli to half forward. Whitnell at the back. Disciplined play by young Whitnell. He's got White. That's a free kick to White. He knocked it on, then was great.
Good play. He knew he was going to be tackled, so he didn't take possession, hit it into space.
Oh, look at this kicking by Carlton. This is as good a field kicking I've seen for ages. Pearce receiving from Whitnell, and Pearce goes bang. Is it a goal? Touch right on the line by Dent.
Good shepherding contest, was it? Beaumont, you would have thought maybe would have been able to push back harder into Dent to push him back over the goal line, but Dent held his position, drew the behind.
Great play by Matthew Dent, but it was great play by Lance Whitnell to take two bullies out of that contest just before Lee and set the play up for White.
Cameron, Ramiro, centre wing, Samani and Croft. Look at the use of the body, Samani. Croft will end up, no, just a little fumble because Whitnell came in the lender hand. Centre wing, this is a very impressive first turn by the Blues. 6-6, 12 scoring shots to 4. So that's how far they've dominated this game. It should be further in front. Darcy and Whitnell. Darcy did well. Cameron, they could do with a goal before quarter time. They've got a big chance too because Dimartina's got it. He bends it back. It's not a good kick. He's kicked it straight to Rice. And Rice brings it out to Silvani at half-back. Now Silvani is chipping it across to Camporelli. You can see they're a team playing with confidence, Carlton.
They're spreading out, they across the half-back line. They're quite happy just to go out to space and use the players on the way through. Indirect approach, but certainly working for them.
Kudafides receiving from Anthony Francina. Centre wing is Ellis punching away, but Big Allen has got it. Matthew Allen to half forward. Pearce and Crediok. The ball goes to ground. Crediok did well. Oh, good tackle. That's holding the ball. That is holding the ball.
That's a good application of it. He had a chance. He took half a dozen steps and the ball fell out of his hands. I think the tackler should be rewarded as he was then.
Manton is marked from Pearce. Glenn Manton. Oh, I think he's kicked another one here. He has. Well, this is good football by the Blues.
Oh, that's what it is. You're not lucky football here. We're talking about a team that's hard under the crunches and maintaining possession. Terrific use of the ball, just a bit sharper than the opposition.
And Lee, the 1%ers have really come into play with Carlton in this first quarter. Great tackling by, and a great example of tackling too. Pinned his arms, got the ball on quickly to Manton. He sets himself, poised, and great goal by Glenn Manton.
Well, you wouldn't believe Carlton are in the bottom 3 or 4 sides in the competition looking at this.
Oh, it was always going to be an even contest, Bill.
Allen, he's winning at those centre bounces. Dimartina takes it away from Fraser Brown. That's a good kick to Croft. They need to get their runners going here. Oh, Silvani's got him. That's no handball, but they've got the numbers there. Brown, Bulldogs had a great first term. Into Whitnell, he used his body well. Ellis is there, but well, that's the siren, but the Carlton supporters are standing in appreciation because Lee and Couchy, that was a fantastic quarter by the Blues.
Well, it was a fantastic quarter. Of course, as we've said a couple of times, it's Carlton's home ground, so their supporters have got the prime positions. The Bulldogs supporters have to be stuck there in the outer, but they've given their home supporters a real sight in that quarter, Carlton, no doubt about that.
And Ron Dealio's been playing very well. Gaelick's moved on to him, but the whole Carlton players have been fantastic.
Carlton 7-6-48, lead Bulldogs 3-1-19.
Coming it sideways to his running centre line players. Let's see what happens at the start of this second term. Allen and Darcy. Allen wins it again. Here's Croft trying to crash his way through the pack. He does too. He did that very, very well. Dimartina onto the left. Oh, some pace by Hogg. Oh, he read that beautifully on
That's attacking defence, isn't it? He attacked the ball. Didn't robe his opponent, attacked the ball.
Silvani, a wobbly kick. Whitnell underneath it.
I'll just play a bit of basketball.
Netball. That was a netball one, that one.
Against Steve Crediok.
It's very lazy. Looks like he's not switched on.
You wonder why he did it, really. I mean, he obviously meant to actually tap the ball on, but held it in his hands for the fraction of a second.
Must have been his hairdo. Lee couldn't concentrate.
So Brad Pearce in towards the pocket area. Whitnell, and young Whitnell, he uses his body very, very well for such an inexperienced player.
He's only 18 years of age, so Whitnell, we see him on the screen. Doesn't look 18, doesn't play like he's 18. He's a good player at 18, but it doesn't mean he's going to be a heap better at 22.
That's right.
Darcy, Whitnell, there he is, getting it out to Bradley. Good tackle by Crediok. Kick by Bradley. Here's a chance. Beaumont! Goal!
Well, it's continued on as it started in the first quarter, hasn't it? And all of a sudden, the sort of the margin, we're out now to 5 goals, 5 behinds, a 35-point margin. So it's still retrievable by the Bulldogs, but you get to 7 or 8 goals, then the game is probably gone, Couchy.
Yeah, it was quick thinking by Bradley, though, to get the ball to Beaumont. Great left foot snap. But Western Bulldogs need to get out of the centre here now. Very, very important that they go forward and actually get a goal and steady the game up a bit, Lee, and turn the game around a bit.
Allen and Darcy, well, the bounce favoured Allen, but he is dominating the centre bounces as it goes their way again. Wirra tried to come through the middle of the ground. It's the Blues through Murphy. Now Brown. Fraser Brown, a hurried kick to the half-forward line. Credit at the back, disciplined punch. West trapped it well. Goes wide. Dent. Oh, strong tackle, but he just breaks it. Brad Johnson. The Carlton players there again to apply the pressure, but Ramiro's got it now. They need a couple of quick goals. It's a wobbly kick down the ground. Oh, that was very, very... It was a soft free kick, surely. Did you think
it was interesting then. He paid the advantage, but then it didn't look like it was going to be the advantage. So he's actually called the ball back. But I think Hudson's ended up kicking the goal. Well, but no, the free kick in the first place, I thought it was two players leaning on each other.
That's exactly right. Lee, that's how I saw it too. Just two blokes leaning on, pushing off each other, and Chris Grant receives the free kick.
It's funny, we all thought the same way. I mean, it just looked like that. Look at that. That's just a little nudge. That's part of the game, that body on body.
You can't take that away from the game.
That should have been play on. But Grant's got the kick from 50 metres and they need a goal. He has missed. He'll sneak it in. I think he did for a behind.
Isn't it amazing how that can happen? And I think we've said today how Bulldogs just don't look like they're in the game. Things aren't going for them. That's a fair example. They got the free kick, which was lucky. But as we say, Hudson kicked the goal, but the advantage had already been brought back, and the behind's all that resulted.
So Bradley kicked to a massive Carlton players around the half-back area there. Ratton, to Brown, no mark. So the Bulldogs have got a chance here. As Crediot gives it to West. Originally it came from Montgomery. Knocked on by McKay, who works overtime there as usual. Ratton, Silvani off Bradley. Just gets his kick in. And luck's a fortune because Allen is marked, but they've got running players everywhere. Here's Fraser Brown. Danger for the Bulldogs because Pearce kicks it across to Sexton, who will mark.
I think that was the umpire blowing the whistle because he just assumed he'd mark it, and I think he might have just fumbled it at that last minute.
The 1 second test there, but it was great clean play by Carlton in through the midfield and looked through beautifully.
Well, he didn't muck around Sexton. He just went back and said, I'll have a shot and kick a goal. So the normal backman, come wingman, has gone down and kicked the goal. Good play.
Well, he came through Michael Sexton as playing as tall back pocket when Silvani was at full back and Dean was at centre half back, and he used to play on all kinds of opposition forwards, even the smaller ones, because even though he's 192 centimetres, he's also very quick. I think had foot problems this year, which have actually hampered him a little, but certainly that was a good mark. Doubtful, but a terrific goal.
Colinook's gone off. Hogg went off with him. Wine's on, and Porter's coming on with Wine. Darcy, free kick, too high against Allen. And do they need 3 or 4 quick goals, or they could be out of this game? That's a good low trajectory kick. They've got a chance down here with Montgomery, but the Carlton backline's been fantastic. Rice kicks to the boundary line, and they're just too good at the moment.
See what we've got happening on here. Porter's come onto the ground. Oh, he's going to play tall defence on Darcy. Don't fancy that from Carlton's point of view, to be honest. A promising ruckman, Porter, but I don't fancy him as a defender against Luke Darcy.
Well, the two Carlton players were fighting each other for that one. That's how much they want it. Ratton, Sexton, Crediot, Pearce at the back. Sockers it off the ground. Good thinking. Whitnell in front as he normally is. Knocked on again by Sexton to McKay. Pearce, he's looking for Bradley. Bradley knocks it on. A free kick that'll go the way of the Bulldogs here at half-back.
It was a Carlton goal coming up. They had the numbers and they looked like running onto the ball, but the free kick, the handball missed the target.
Went behind Craig Bradley, and mistakes are made, Lee. Turnover and costly.
If that had hit Bradley, that hand pass by Pearce would have been a goal, I'd say for sure. Garlick He's looking here for Wine. Allen's with him. Dimartina receives. Yeah, Dimartina looking to see if West is going to run past him. He might have to go to Croft instead. He does. Now he can go inside to West. He slips over, but West is still there. Manton just got a hand to it. Taken by Tyson Lane with a beautiful kick. Mark dropped down there by Hudson, but that was the pressure of Franchina. Kicked by Koutafidis, but West has taken it. Now, Scott West will kick the goal. He drives it low and has hit the post, I think. Yes.
It's not quite working, is it?
It's not working at all.
Franchina is playing on Paul Hudson, and Anthony Franchina does play close checking defence. When he's playing on you, he's going to be pushing into you. He lets you know you're there. So
he's one of those old-time tough, nuggety backmen that you read about in the old days.
5'2" bloke.
Yeah. Well, it's brought in by Rice towards the centre of the ground. Free kick against DeLilio.
Yeah, it was some call that, wasn't it? DeLilio was up high towards the mark. This is Chris Grant's 4th free kick. He's only had 5 kicks, 4 of them are frees.
Well, Savani putting some pressure on there, trying to get 50 here, but it's not 50. It'll be a kick by Johnson from 50 metres, and that's good umpiring because Savani really didn't give anything away there.
Yeah, that, well,
neck, I
guess the adjudication is as long as the player is making a genuine attempt to mark the ball.
He was a little bit reckless.
Well, the Bulldogs need a goal, and this is their wingman, Brad Johnson, putting it up high. I think he's kicked this, and boy, did they need it.
Yes, the margin was just starting to creep out to very, very difficult proportions. Already, well, it's still 33 points, so it's certainly a good margin to Carlton. But Bulldogs, yeah, they just needed that goal because it's, yes, the mark in the front. And I think Brad Johnson went down to try and draw the 50-metre penalty. And why not? They don't penalise you for staging. Why not?
9-6 Carlton, 4-3 the Western Bulldogs. Wine and Allen. Allen got his hand to it again. Ratton. They're very good at the centre bounce today, Carlton. Oh, the bounce important here. Fraser Brown onto the left. Kicks it for Whitnell. Oh, that's a beautiful kick by Brown.
He's a quality player, Fraser Brown, when he's fit. When he's properly fit, he's a good quality player. A bit slow, but terrific at the clinches and a good user of the ball.
How good was Brett Ratton in the midfield, in the centre clearance though there? Put his head down, quick kick out of the centre, get the ball on quickly, put the Bulldogs under pressure, and a great kick by Fraser Brown.
Lance Whitnell yet to score a goal today. Kicks from 25 metres, slight angle. Oh, he's drifted it, but just got it home, I think. Yes. Well, they can't make any inroads at the moment, the Bulldogs.
No, I must say, a 39-point margin. There's not too many games that are actually won from being that kind of margin behind, even be it only early in the game. Long way to go. We're not even halfway through the second quarter, but yeah, Carlton are going to be hard to run. Interesting, Sexton's gone back now to play defence on Darcy.
Carlton winning the midfield battles. Let's see what happens this time. Wine actually got the hit out, but Allen's going to rove it. Oh, boy, everything going their way, but it's through good football. No luck. Punches away by Rowan Smith, taken by Bradley. He brings it in towards half forward. That's a nice mark by Craig Ellis, floating across the pack. Plays on. Oh, good smother on Curley. Socket off the ground by Lance Whitnell, and maybe he could have picked it up. But
well, I'll say it again. We see some terrific soccer goals, but I still think if you can pick the ball up, you've got a much better control than trying to soccer an oval-shaped ball.
Especially when there's a one-on-one contest. And awareness has got to come into it, Lee, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Take your time, relax, pick the ball up and goal.
Brad Johnson, he's spotted a teammate out wide. It's Brad Wirra. He runs away from Bradley Wirra. Look at, well, it's Grant and Koutafidis. Koutafidis doing all right at the moment because he's got that pace to go with him. Well done, Ramiro. Chipping in, he'll try and centre this ball. Puts it to the top of the square. He wants Darcy to take a mark. Manton over the back, thumps it to the line. Good disciplined play. And
Koutafidis' kick there. If you're going to have to kick that short in a one-on-one contest, you're better off not to do it. Get it on further along. A finesse kick up around the right foot snap there in the 50 is very, very dangerous. And a turnover resulted.
Sexton and Darcy to do the ruck work. Silvani didn't have it, was grabbed. Free kick, Stephen Silvani. He immediately plays on very casually because he had plenty of time to find Camporelli. That's a good kick by Camporelli to Rice because he put it out in front of him. No chance for the opposition. Here's Beaumont. He's got a couple to beat. Garlick had the pace. Taken away by Cameron. Wine can give it back to Cameron. He's got Croft wide. Croft has got it. He can play on all. No, Carlton got them covered everywhere. He's looking for a short option. Now he's forced to go long. He's looking for Chris Grant. Oh, that is a brilliant mark. Oh, that is a top quality mark.
Yeah, Kudafis was with him, but he jumped high from the front position. I think Kuda just had to get the body in a bit quicker to have some actually torso pressure rather than just trying to actually spoil with your arms.
Didn't even try and take his arms there.
No,
Lee, did he with his arms? Just sort of ran behind him and sort of stuck his arms out with actually taking Chris Grant's arms. And that's what you need to do if you're behind and you don't think you can make it. Take his arms away.
I guess he was just a little bit. I mean, he's a tall man, Chris Grant, and when you jump from the front position, as you say, you can't reach the ball. It's a matter of whether you can actually knock an arm out of it.
He's not far off 6'4" in the old scale. He's a very tall player, and he's a brilliant mark now. Chris Grant is really muscled up. Oh, that is a nice-looking kick. It's a goal. They needed that, and the Bulldog champion has kicked his first.
But it's only the second kick that he's actually got. I guess 3 kicks you can say are it, but he's had 6 kicks, Chris Grant. Kicked 1 goal too, admittedly, but he's had 4 free kicks in that and 2 marks. So certainly at this point, I think Carlton will be pretty happy that Kudafis has prevented the main gun forward from Bulldogs from dominating the game.
Actually, that went on Chris Grant's left side there, and Anthony Kudafis tried to punch on his right side. He's only punched his right shoulder. Instead, he should come with the left and try to punch across his left-hand side where the ball is actually going.
Emergency umpire out having a word to Jose Ramirez.
34 points the margin. I wouldn't write off the Bulldogs just yet. They do have a habit of charging home when you think they're not playing all that well. West. Taken away by Camporelli. Good play by McKay to get it to him, and that's a good lead by Whitnell.
He's got good hands, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's a very athletic defender, is Alice, and he got on the lead, Whitnell, so he wasn't going to get a long way clear of Alice, but he was just, his hands were good enough under pressure to take control of the ball.
And Lee, the thing I like about him, as a forward, he is always in front.
Yep.
And tries to get that front posse. There's the kick. He is bending it back. That is a beautiful kick for a goal. Lance Whitnell has kicked his second.
Well, they're starting to answer the challenge a little bit, aren't they, Carlton? I mean, Bulldogs have started to look a little bit better. They've got a couple of goals, but every time they have, immediately, the Carlton team have gone back and scored again.
Great kick by Scott Camporelli, but he's just got a bit of spunk about him, this kick, Lance Whitnell. He's got a fair bit of grunt about him, and when his eye's fixed on the ball, he's got steely hands there and just wants to take the mark, and that's the big thing. The want and the aggression to go out there, put your arms out and take the mark.
Back we go to the middle. Wine and Allen. Allen got his hands to it again, taken by Dimartino, who ducked the head and got the free kick. Advantage paid to Ramiro. Grant again. Oh, yes! Great mark. It looked as though he was out of the contest. And
Yes,
up went the head.
yeah, well, I think Kudafis slipped at the last moment, I think, but nevertheless, that made it more difficult for him. But Grant, that is a pressured mark. Players who can take those one-on-one marks, 50-50s in the forward 50, are absolutely worth their weight in gold.
Well, the greatest example of that would be Wayne Carey. When North need a player to win the game for him, they kick it to him one-on-one and he wins it for them time and time again. So can this guy. Chris Grant kicking for his second. It looks good. He's goal.
Well, we have just got a bit of a goal-for-goal situation happening at the moment, but of course Carlton had a 6-goal lead, so the Bulldogs are going to have to do a much better than goal-for-goal. Just see what happens now. Can they get a second consecutive goal and start putting the pressure back on Carlton, or can Carlton answer yet again?
Well, they just need to get within about 3 goals, don't they?
Yeah,
and
really put the pressure
give
back.
themselves a sniff. You can see the height advantage there in that 2-shot of Grant over Kudafis. Umpire not playing a free kick there. They go forward again through Ramiro. They're almost high. Taken away by Johnson. Johnson for goal. and maybe the Bulldogs are coming home back at Carlton.
Well, they do flow forward. I think the critical part of that is they got the centre bounce clearance. They got the last couple of centre bounce clearances. Earlier in the game, Carlton was dominating that area. And if they can get the ball running through half forward, Couchy, they have plenty of guys flowing through with the ball. Look at Johnson. He's the one who gets it in the end.
I reckon Matthew Allen's dropped away this last 5 or 10 minutes. His influence has dropped away, and this is where the Bulldogs have got back involved in the game again.
Well, we mentioned earlier that the Bulldogs can look down and out and they will fight, and they're starting now. Wine and Allen. Wine grabs it, gives it to Johnson, so they've got it out again. Over the back is Montgomery. Silvani races and swoops onto it, heads it out wide towards the boundary line. Steve Collinook and Glenn Manton. Manton, handballs. How will the umpire see that? He's calling play on, and eventually the ball rolls over the line.
It's interesting. Silvani is now picking up Grant. I just wonder now, Koutafidis is on Croft, so it's just they've changed their defensive matchups.
Well, Koutafidis struggles body on body. He doesn't know how to use his body. He's a very big bloke, but he struggles with body on body pressure, and I think it's a good change there to take him out of full back, because I feel he'd be better off out at centre half back.
Yeah.
Murphy has taken a very good mark there. Ratton, Bradley. They look good when Bradley runs forward like that, the little chip kick in towards half-forward. He was looking for Andrew McKay. He works very hard, McKay, still going. Gets in a hand pass to Ratton. Ratton drives it in towards full forward. Whitnall! Oh, he's a good player. He's kicked another one.
Well, they got it, didn't they? We were saying, who can get the next goal? Can the Bulldogs just start stringing 2 or 3 together? But Carlton have answered in, and third goal to Whitnall all in the second quarter. It's interesting now that Koutafidis, is actually off-ground. I wonder now's the time to put him back to a wing. I mean, maybe just after a few games back in defence, they've got Glenn Manton back there, who's basically gone out now to play on a wing. Whether Manton back on Croft and Koutafidis on a wing, just may be the time
just to
think
bring him
about
on.
doing that.
But he's got the confidence up now, though.
5-4 is the lead. The Bulldogs get it out through Johnson. Collinook at the back, Rice at the front. They're pretty desperate, the Blues. Rice receives from Manton. Here's White. Adam White. Oh! He was desperate then, Montgomery, but he gave away a free kick to Bradley. And some hoots of the Carlton supporters, or it might have been Bulldog support. Oh, reported for that! You must be joking.
Well, I must say, players these days half the time must think that they really, if they're going to be there half a step late, they just don't try and spoil the mark, because players are getting reported constantly. Well, gee, if that wasn't a genuine attempt to spoil the mark, I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Well, I'm with you, Lee.
And a 50-metre penalty.
Well, this could cost them a goal. That is totally unfair.
Well, OK, let's see what may have happened. If it's a free kick because of the incident, OK. But unless we don't know, there may have been for
mouthing off or something.
Might have said something.
If the 50-metre penalty is for abusive language or mouthing off, OK, we can't argue with that. But certainly a free kick, a report, and a 50-metre penalty was a reasonable impediment.
Well, to me, just looking at that incident, it looked like a genuine attempt by Montgomery to spoil.
You've got to launch yourself and make an attempt. What if the coach said, "Oh, look, he didn't actually make
a line ball decision? I thought a line ball that he got there about the same time as the ball, I reckon.
So Craig Bradley will kick from directly in front. A big decision in the context of this game, and here's goal. Bradley's kicked his first, and the Blues have the answers at the moment. We're not sure what the 50 was for, and is that Montgomery arguing with, that's Montgomery arguing with the umpire, wanting to know what it was for in the first place, I would ask.
No wonder. He certainly doesn't miss too many, Craig Bradley. I reckon you're going to give it the ball to a player 30 metres out.
You want him to get it.
Yeah, Craig Bradley's as good as any, I reckon.
Scott West on screen with Craig Bradley. What a champion player he's been for the Blues over many, many years. The vital centre bounce again. Murphy trying to come through the middle. Wine to Johnson to Ramiro. He kicks it to the square. The bounce important. It bounces through for a goal. Great goal, Jose.
Well, they play free-flowing football, Bulldogs. I reckon they get involved in that kind of game, and usually they score better than their opposition. But here we are, getting towards the end of the second quarter. Carlton have already kicked 13 goals, and the Bulldogs have now kicked 8, which is a good score in itself, but still they're a long way behind. They do play a very offensive brand of football.
And Luke Darcy let out, and Romero took his time, had a look, and goal.
There's Jose encouraging his teammates. Been an enormous player for the Bulldogs. Being cleared by North Melbourne. Porter did well then to tap at the Ratton. McKay underneath it, gets a cruel bounce. Wirra. Oh, look, the Carlton players came from everywhere. Rowan Smith's been very quiet. There's Cameron. Look at the Carlton players swooping. Camporelli, the bounce.
Oh, the bounce. He just didn't quite balance. But wouldn't that have been a morale-boosting goal to dispossess the Bulldogs on the half-back line? Because really they had control, but the Carlton pressure forced them into error.
Terry Wallace, worried-looking Terry Wallace, looking on Phil Malin, a former Carlton and Bulldog player at the back. There's Wine, no mark, taken by West. West is bringing it back towards the... oh, look, they stood and looked at it, the Bulldogs players. Camporelli to Murphy. Beautiful kick. Andrew McKay can kick a goal. Now, he might be a little bit too far out because he's looking for the short one.
Well, he's going to be kicking from 45 metres. I think he'll kick the distance, but it's a nasty pocket, that one. He's actually going to centre it.
He didn't look as though he was going to go for it. Oh, the Flyers are there. White latches onto it. Smothered, a magnificent smother. West, it might have been tripped, he was. And Scott West will take this kick at half back.
Accidental trip by hand, of course. If it's an accidental trip by leg, it's a 40-metre penalty, 50-metre penalty, isn't it? And a deliberate trip is a report just to actually...
just reporting for that.
That's right.
Kudafides at the back. Half mark. He's got support from Porter, who ducked the head. Camporelli, oh, he did that very well. Beautiful play and a nice kick. McKay, Camporelli, good running play. In towards half-foot. Alice just couldn't quite hang on to it. Adam White. Beaumont is there. Alice, oh, Beaumont, terrific play. On to Pearce.
Okay.
In towards half-forward or forward pocket area, and Glenn Manton is down in that forward pocket and has taken them up.
They're all coming back to Pearce and Beaumont. Pearce may have hurt himself, unfortunately. But how was the Beaumont contest then? He just went at the ball like he's the only one on the ground who wanted it.
I hope that is not a knee injury.
Unfortunately, they're calling for a stretch.
Well, they came across his knee area. Let's just hope it's not, because he has had a knee operation.
Yeah,
and they're calling for the stretcher. So that might be rotten luck for Brad Pearce, and a tragedy for himself and the Blues if that is a serious injury.
But interesting to see Carlton in their forward line, just wanting to keep the ball alive, not holding underneath and just keep it alive, and they've done a great job there. And
I mean, the ball went to a nest of about 4 Bulldogs players, and Beaumont just charged through the whole bunch of them and actually set up the flow of knock on to Pearce. But certainly his left knee got caught as he was kicking the ball, unfortunately. And I guess we just got to hope it's on the minor side of what can eventuate from those situations.
He's got enough tape on there to keep it in stable condition anyway, Pete, hasn't he?
Yeah, well,
sponsored by Elastoplast.
Yeah, well, he's obviously had problems with that knee before. As we remember, had knee reconstruction eventually.
He went down holding.
I'm not sure early in the year whether it was a knee problem. We see this quite often, don't we, where there is a hold-up in play where the two teams will assemble in their groups. There's only one pair not in it, and that's Michael Sexton and Luke Darcy, who are down, and they're going to come up too. I think they've just decided that... yeah, it seems a little pointless, I must say, but the two players up the other end of the field are jogging up, being good team players.
And Brad Pearce going straight off the ground. And have a look at him up in the medical rooms.
And Fraser Brown has come back on to replace him.
Just with Scott Wine's dominance in the last 5 or 10 minutes, Carlton have made a change there and have put Porter on him and give Matthew Allen a bit of a rest, which is a good play before half-time. They'd come out at three-quarter time and really bounce into Scott Wine again like he did in that first quarter. It was absolutely sensational, and that's where it all started from, that centre clearance, and Brett Ratton has absolutely been sensational in and under.
Well, Glenn Manton in the meantime has got the ball, as we saw that disturbing sight Oh, Brad Pearce going off on a stretcher. Manton marking deep in that forward pocket area against Paul DiMartino.
He's a great mark for his size, isn't he, Glenn, mate? He's very straight arms, great technique.
He played a fair bit of his football at full-back at Essendon. So he's kicking for his second goal, believe it or not. Glenn Manton, a big kick coming up here. A pretty tight angle, but only about 25 metres out. He's hooked it. No, he's happy. It's in. So Glenn Manton's kicked his second, and the Blues just seem to have all the answers at the moment.
Well, they've gone again into a 6-goal lead again. 30. What are we talking now? 41 points now, I think, isn't it? 6 goals, 5 behind. So that's a very decent margin as we approach the half-time break.
Do you think they're out of it now, Lee, Western Bulldogs?
I don't think so, because they're such a high-scoring team. This is a big margin they've got to overtake, but they can score goals quickly. But they've got to stop Carlton scoring, and they're failing to do that.
Porter beaten to it by Wine. Brad Johnson, a quick kick. Oh, well done by Darcy. Gee, he controlled that well. Franchina tried to crash his way through the pack. Here's West. Went without a free kick to Carlton here at half-back. And the Carlton player getting up is Anthony Franchina, who, as Lee said earlier, is a pretty tough nut.
Yes, I don't think he's the type of player you'd look forward to playing on, to be honest. I think he makes you earn every kick.
Well, no one on his mark there. It's a wobbly kick. McKay went in after it. There's Sexton enjoying his roll up on the wing. It's a wobbly kick to half-forward. Good mark to Brett Montgomery. He's getting the hoots of the Carlton supporters. He's got a choice of 2 out there. One is Darcy. Luke Darcy. That's a good kick. Rowan Smith unable to get into the game so far.
And his second kick, Pete.
Now that's a good kick also. He's looking for Grant. Grant Silvani, 2 champions together. Chris Grant bending it back. He was under pressure. Johnson is there with Camporelli, and it's forced over the line.
It was a very quick call, wasn't it, to replace Koutafis with Silvani. I mean, he took 2 marks, didn't he, Grant? Just outbodied. Well, one he led to it, one he outbodied, I guess. But it was I must say, that certainly there was not a great deal of perseverance shown with Koutafis. Silvani got the call pretty quick.
Oh, good play by Grant. He can kick a goal here, Chris Grant. That is a brilliant bit of play. Has he kicked it? No. Well, it deserved a goal.
For such a big bloke, he's very, very quick and off the ground. He just picks the ball up beautifully, dodge and weave and balance up beautifully. He's such a well-balanced player, Chris Grant.
And he did miss the, but a very balanced left-foot kick too, wasn't it? I mean, if you didn't know he didn't kick left foot, or he kicked that he kicked right foot, you may think left foot was his dominant side.
Camporelli is looking for Porter, almost a mark to Ellis, taken by Hamill. Fraser Brown on to Murphy. This is Beaumont. And he's a bit of a go.
He's been lively up there, hasn't he? He's only had 4 touches for the game, but his speed, I think, just off the mark, the acceleration, that when he hits the ball, he is hitting it at a pretty high speed.
Come on last week against Adelaide, Lee, and kicked 2 great goals and got Carlton back in the game.
I saw a shot of Terry Wallace looking fairly composed, which he is. I mean, they have their ups and downs, but they're a very good side, the Bulldogs. Bradley looking for Dean Rice. Doesn't quite sit for him. Here's Beaumont. He was looking back here for Rice. Wonderful skills shown there by Leon Cameron. He found Montgomery. Now Wirra. Back to Cameron. They've got no one to give it to here because Manton has closed the gap. That's a good kick. That was clever.
He's working his way into the game. Brad Johnson at the moment. He's a very dangerous player.
Johnson looking for Grant. Is that a free kick? Oh, it's against
Jumped too early, jumped too early, so the free kick was played to Carlton.
Wasn't a genuine attempt, was it, Lee?
Would have been if he had 10-foot arms.
Camporelli to Silvani. Grant, I don't think he liked it.
He's only got 3-foot arms, so it wasn't genuine.
Go, Gadget.
Mark. A simple one dropped there by Sexton. Camporelli on to Beaumont. Beaumont, that's a nice-looking kick. Whitnell at the back. The loose ball. Still got it, Whitnell. Good play. Look at that. Fantastic football. He brings it back in front of guy. Was that a mark? Or was it a half volley? He's paid the mark.
Well, he's paid the mark, and that's all that counts. The Bulldogs players aren't so sure. But Whitnell just again the ability to weave his way through a couple of Bulldogs defenders. I would think Terry Wallace would be most concerned about the tackling pressure of his team today. They are allowing that Carlton player to get clear too often.
It's a great play to think on his feet too, Lee.
Yep.
Especially for a young bloke to show great experience and poise, and quick kick to Hamill.
Well, Hamill is a good build of a bloke. Hamill, terrific size for an AFL footballer. He's kicking from directly in front, 25 metres out, right through the middle. That's his second.
Well, they have got some work to do, the Bulldogs. Yes, certainly the team's a long way away on the ladder. Bulldogs first prize of the day. Carlton 14th with only 5 wins. Bulldogs with 12, but the game is not going according to what has happened earlier in the season. Today, the Carlton side is looking like they could be the top side, and the Bulldogs could be down in 14th place.
Well, we saw the replay. It was a definite mark, all right. Wind and Porter, a poor bounce. Wind takes it out of the ruck contest. The Blues come away again through Camperelli. It was given to him by Ratton. It's a wobbly kick in towards full forward. Oh, great mark by Hamill.
He's a jumping boot, isn't he, Hamill?
Across the front of the pack, and that's a good mark.
Yeah, he can jump and leap at the ball. He's got a little bit of power about him, hasn't he? It was a big high jump. He didn't really control the ball all that well. Just a couple of grabs down to the ground, left it behind, but definitely a mark.
Shows a fair bit of go, doesn't he? Like he launched himself at it. Come from the side.
Well, he looks the sort of player, Paul, that might go that next step and become a really top player for the Blues.
Well, that's who they need to step up.
Yep.
They?
Yep. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of the physical attributes to become a very good player.
And a great camera shot behind Aaron Hamill as he kicks for his third and dobs it through. Well, I thought the Bulldogs were starting to get back into it and come back at Carlton, but this is very impressive by the Blues.
Well, 16 goals in a half of football. I mean, that's just magnificent kicking or ability to score and convert. The Bulldogs' defence, I guess, isn't its absolute strength. It's, I think, currently the 5th best defence statistically, but certainly today, Carlton have won the midfield and cut them up in the forward line.
Ratton again, sensational to peel the handball off to Scott Camperelli, and his disposal today, Camperelli's been a great sight to watch. Beautiful disposal.
Porter and Wind. Fraser Brown, gee, they're doing well midfield, the Blues. On to Anthony Koutafidis, who brings it down that centre corridor. Hamill again, he was underneath it this time. West receives from Crediuk, on to Dent. Centre wing is Hudson, who's been fairly quiet. Paul Hudson. Oh, he's kicked it straight here to Koutafidis, who certainly looks good when he runs with that ball. Back to Koutafidis from Manton. Look at this. And some good shot. Well, not quite reaching the mark down there, but to Camperelli. Beaumont, Crediuk, West. Enormous pressure being put on by those Carlton forwards. That's Martin. Collinwood. Steve Collinwood. Good kick to Croft. Oh, they nearly lost it then. Collinwood. Oh, still fumbling. Oh, Scotty White tried to finesse there when he should have given it off. Franchina. Sexton, the Bulldogs player, is down here. Is that right? Is that a report on Anthony Franchina or not? Yes, it is.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Hudson down, Franchina reported.
Well, I guess we've said a couple of times that he tends to be a player who plays with a high degree of just aggression of spirit, Franchina, and it's okay if it's, I guess, a cold, determined, but the hot aggression can sometimes result, of course, in...
Is that a 50 Lee now?
Well, I'm not sure what's happening at the moment.
Yep.
Certainly not. Yeah, it is now a 50, but I think it was the second incident. I don't think it was against Franchina, the 50.
Oh, he's just sort of protecting himself and copped Hudson across the head.
Just sort of.
Well, it's a clear view. Whatever we say makes no difference.
No,
the tribunal are going to look at it.
The tribunal decide.
A very clear look.
Paul Hudson will kick from 15 metres directly in front. And to say the Bulldogs need a goal is the understatement of the century.
He's been very quiet today, Paul Hudson.
The Carlton defence has been excellent. Hudson directly in front for his first, and he has kicked it.
Well, it's a high-scoring quarter, no doubt about that. Carlton have kicked 9 goals, and Bulldogs have kicked 6. I mean, you just don't see 15 goals scored in a quarter of football too often.
And we were talking earlier about crowding the defences, and yet we're seeing all these goals being scored.
Well, I think we're getting the midfield areas are getting, as we see a replay of the incident, the midfield's getting crowded, but there's plenty of space as the ball goes forward.
I don't think that incident was as bad as what it actually looked like.
Well, the fend-off, similar incident against Todd Viney last week, and Todd Viney got cleared.
Yeah, very similar actually. So getting close towards half-time. Oh, Porter went very, very early. Murphy might have been caught a little bit high. Taken by Wirra. A couple of quick ones before half-time would be handy to the blue. There's Sexton across half-back now, looking for Murphy. He's got him, but the good thing for Carlton, there's often 2 or 3 options. Kick from Murphy towards Hamill. Here's Franchina at the beautiful pick up by Franchina. Just gets it about 10 metres. Bradley, well done. Hamill off the side of the boot and out on the full.
Yes, Paul Hudson's been very quiet. Last week he was very good early, kicking 2 or 3 goals in the first quarter. Montgomery was also, and these players have been very, very quiet today, and Carlton have done a great job to match up on them. Franchina on Paul Hudson hasn't let him let any space, and that you can't give Paul Hudson any space.
You mentioned before the game started that they won so well last week that maybe a game of keepings off wasn't the ideal preparation for a real hard contest.
You know yourself, though, you really do need a hard contest, and the Brisbane line very soft.
Sexton getting it back to Murphy. Murphy a high ball in towards full forward. Should have been against Hamill for throwing Dent out of the way. Massey from the boundary line. This young player bending it back. Good play because Manton has marked 20 metres out, almost directly in front.
Well, there was Manton and 4 Bulldogs players, and again that's lobbed on Manton's chest. We've seen this quite often. Have a look at this. They're all Bulldogs players, but just the ball just absolutely fell into Mountain's path, and this game might go forever the way they're scoring goals.
Well, Manton did play, even at Essendon, he did play a lot of fullback, but he played a fair few games on the forward line as well and kicked goals. So Glenn Manton kicking for his 3rd, slight angle, and he has kicked it right through. 3 goals to the backman, who has become a forward again.
Well, we mentioned before when Silvani went on to Grand and Koutafis went on to Croft, what would they do with Koutafis and Manton? Well, they kept Koutafis in defence, and Manton's actually gone up to the midfield, and a couple of goals have resulted. So good coaching, I think, good positioning by David Parkin.
It's a shot at the goal, and Manton would be loving that down forward. Half a minute to half-time.
In real time, it's gone from 39 minutes this quarter.
The lights on.
Wine, another poor bounce, favours Wine, taken by West. Oh, but again, terrific smother there by Colin. West tried to get it out there to Croft. Taken by Murphy. He seems to have a new lease of life onto the young player again in Massey. Oh, I think that a little bit of luck there, but it came off because Brown gave it to Bradley as time runs out. He'll just get his kick at goal. Craig Bradley, look at that!
Very much.
Right on half-time. Craig Bradley has kicked the ripper, and the Carlton crowd have gone berserk, as have the players.
Wasn't that just absolutely superb skill? He's running right foot to the boundary line where the natural hooking action was going to make it difficult, but he just curled the ball back over that right-hand goal post. Just a terrific finish, the top of an 18-goal half by Carlton. What an incredible scoring effort. Just a fantastic, and yes, as we said, it's the Carlton home ground. It's just been a fantastic performance. The Bulldogs just really need to regroup as they go to the half-time break with Carlton 18-8, 116, leading the Bulldogs 9-4, 58.
Well, let's see if the Bulldogs can do any better in this 3rd term. Carlton have been outstanding. James Cook is on the ground at full forward for the Western Bulldogs. There's McKay, who has worked very, very hard. They've got a lot. Carlton have got a lot of real goers like Fraser Brown and Andrew McKay and Brett Ratton. They're not over quick, are they, Lee? But
we talked about the midfield
as we
bounce the ball. That's where 3/4 of the ground plays within 5 metres of the ball.
Well, there's Simon Garlick bringing it in towards half forward. Over the back is Ramiro. Here's a chance. He kicks it to a 2-on-2 contest. Cook! Maybe that's what they need. Someone down there at full forward take the mark. Cook having plenty to say to Manton.
You really do need a second option up there. You can't rely on Chris Grant. Another marking option they haven't had at half time. It was a great mark by Cook under extreme pressure, and Glenn Martin's usually very good in the air, but he takes a very good, strong mark.
And isn't it funny to think that Glenn Martin has kicked 3 goals now? He's
up the other end.
Deep in defence. The modern game. Players interchanging all over the place. So James Cook going for his first kick of the game.
He's taken his time.
He normally does. He normally goes a long way back from the man on the mark too. He's
got the Scott Cummings kicking technique.
He's normally very accurate, Cook. He stabs at that one. It looks good. He's happy. It's a goal. So a good start for the Western Bulldogs at the beginning of this third term, but they need 3 or 4 or 5 quick ones.
Well, I guess the one advantage they got is they are a high-scoring team. That's the one thing I think that would give you some hope that the Bulldogs could still win the game. Most teams, when they're 10 goals down half-time, really, they got no hope. But it's more, I think, the fact that Carlton have scored so well and not allowed the Bulldogs to, whereas I think kicking, 12 goals in the second half is not out of Bulldogs' control.
Cook and Manton down deep in that forward line for the Bulldogs, having plenty to mouth up at each other about. Murphy did well then to Camperelli on to Brown. Fraser Brown, that is a well-weighted kick to Whitnall. He didn't blast it at him. Is that 50?
Yes.
Oh, Crediuk, Stephen Crediuk, you've made a big blue there. He doesn't think he made a blue. Umpire thought he did, and Whitnall will kick from point.
Let's have a look. We have a good look at it here.
Yeah, knocked it out of his hands, Lee. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, coaches must. Well, you were a league coach, Lee. They must hate that sort of.
Well, I mean, let's
gimme goal.
Let's face it, Crediuk didn't try to do it, but at the same time, maybe he was just a little bit. I mean, that fine line of manning up the guy who's marked the ball.
Well, that's 4 goals to young Lance Whitnall.
Well, yes, you get 1 goal. The Bulldogs get 1 goal, makes them think, well, OK, let's see if we can start winding Carlton in here. And then a mark 60 metres out from goal ends up with a 50-metre penalty, a set shot from the end of the 10-metre square. And let's have a look at this all the way through. He's got the ball there. Gee, no,
that's a bit rough.
I think he was pretty unlucky.
I think he thought Whitnall was going to handball, and he sort of was just covering that side of the ground. Yeah. He was a little bit unlucky when you look at it.
50.
You think so?
Yeah, it was 50, definitely. Yeah, it was too long.
That's what umpiring's all about, interpretation and judgment.
That's exactly right. It should have been 1.
Oh, poor bounce by the umpire, but it favours Allen. Bulldogs through Dimatina, now Ramiro. Jose in towards half forward, no mark to Darcy. Here's Martin, who's very quick. Manton, his arms were pinned. Good umpiring to let it go. Kutafidis did very well to Brown. Julio. Sexton. Good running play from the defenders. He's kicked to a pack though, and floating across the front is Curley to take the mark. Now Curley. Oh, Montgomery almost collided with Garlick. So Brett Montgomery looks up the ground. Grant is covered. Kutafidis back on Grant. Wine gets himself into that hole between them and takes an easy
it's
mark.
It's an interesting move, that, isn't it? That in fact Silvani's gone back onto Cook and Kutafidis now on Grant again. So yeah, just an interesting way that David Parkin wants his matchups to be back there.
Ron Julio has marked deep in defence. Centre wing, Montgomery's going to set himself. Whitnall, he's got them. Whitnall's only the only one who really went for that mark. Here's Murphy. Free kick. As he was attacked from all sides, and Jose Ramiro just corked his leg a little bit there.
He's been very quiet today, Peter, too. Jose hasn't had a lot of influence on the game.
Sexton to half forward. Could have been a free kick there to Allen.
High tackle, yeah.
If Matthew Allen keeps this dominance going, I can't see the Bullies getting up.
kick in towards half forward. Montgomery across the front. Here's Andrew McKay. Thrown off the ball. Dent was heading for the boundary line. It's still in. This is Beaumont, and he uses a left footer. He elects to hand pass instead. McKay. After him is Rowan Smith, who's been very quiet. Rice. Manton. Back to McKay. Oh, good play by Andrew McKay. Whitnall. I think he's kicked another one. He's kicked his fifth. Tremendous football.
He's taken over the role of Stephen Kernahan, Lance Whitnall. Really presents himself every time in the contest. It was great play again, just steady through a crowded pack there, Bulldogs around him, and just steady, have nice presence about him, and just kicks a great goal there.
They just maintained possession under pressure, didn't they? There was, again, tackles missed. Crediuk went across the front of Mackay, missed the tackle, but certainly good finish by Whitnall. Scoreboard keeps ticking over for Carlton.
Top quality display at centre half forward this. Lance Whitnall. Allen again taps it, taken by Ramiro. Couldn't get his boot to it. Ratton. Now Grant. Chris Grant trying, thrown off the ball. Free kick to Grant against Kurtafidis. Because Chris Grant didn't have the ball. Now, did he start in the centre square?
Yeah, would you move him into on the ball and give him a run around there to create some options and play him in the ruck, get some mobility around the ground?
Yeah, he's chipped it across here to Matthew Dent. Dent. Oh, they've lost it. And easily marked up there by Allen. Now, Dimatina can run almost inside 50 and he kicks it up to the top of the square. They need a mark and they're not going to get it because the Carlton backman got back to apply a bit of pressure, and Cook, the free kick might be against Cook here.
I think it might be for knocking the ball. Well, surely not.
I thought he
push
sort of
or a knee or
interfered with,
something.
I thought he interfered with Manton.
No, he's paid the behind, but I didn't quite see him. Did Cook actually knock the ball into the crowd? Because it's one of those free kicks where it's taken on the back of the centre square. So obviously an infringement after the behind was scored.
I think he might have also done something to Manton as well. So there's a bit of feeling out there. It's tapped on beautifully to Silvani. That was good play. It's a real goer, Franchina. Play on, says the umpire, advantage, that is. Sexton gives it wide. This is Dielio, who had 11 touches in the first term. So Ronnie Dielio in towards half forward. Oh, he's got it again.
He does look like dropping a mark, does he? When he gets his hands to the ball,
he's got a
they stick.
Well, he marks out in front, doesn't he?
Yeah, good technique, straight arms, but he just wants the ball, and that's the difference between a good player and an ordinary player. He just wants it and just eats it. Great kick by Julio, who's not noted for his field kicking. Sensational.
Lance Whitnall going for goal number 6. Oh, look at that. What a performance.
Who said they needed Stephen Kernahan?
Well, you're talking about a centre-half forward. You're not talking about a full forward.
Well, I mean, he's been much discussed, hasn't he, Lance Whitnall, an 18-year-old. And I guess we said early in the game, the point is he's a mature 18-year-old, both physically and the way he thinks about the game as well. Regardless of all that, for a guy in the second year of league football to kick 6 goals early in the third quarter of a game at centre-half forward is just a fantastic effort.
And to actually dominate a league game at 18 is something to behold.
Lance Whitnall is playing on a good stopper too in Credial. Taken by Ratton. Oh, he keeps belting the ball forward. Nice mark, safe mark taken by Todd Curley. Now Curley across the ground. Found Jose Ramiro. And Jose getting some hoops. It's a wobbly kick. Oh, good mark. He is very good overhead, Michael Sexton. Gives it to Murphy. Danger for the Bulldogs here because Murphy goes wide with a hand pass to Brown. Now Dean Rice. Bending it back, Hamill. Oh, just lost sight of it. Back it came in the direction of Ratton, taken by West. Oh, Dielio! Another one! Well, they're even intercepting and kicking goals now, the Blues. Is this their day?
Well, I reckon if you're Carlton supporter, you'll go and buy this tape because even in their premiership years, I doubt whether they've had a game where they've kicked 22 goals to this stage just after half-time, and at the moment they can do no wrong. The tackling's good. If they have a shot for goal, they're kicking them. just at the moment they are making the Bulldogs look like a very poor team.
Great play by Aaron Hamill, great second effort, missed the mark, turned around, got back onto it, and 4 Bulldogs were there against him, and he just charged straight at it. Goal.
Well, all those pundits who were writing David Parkin off, I don't think they'll want him back again because he's coaching them very, very well at the moment. And I think he'll get a new lease of life and want to coach his side next year.
And
doesn't the tide turn?
We mentioned that Grant is now in as sort of tall ruck rover, but Kudafiti's gone with him. That's the great advantage of Kudafiti's. He can play midfield himself, so it's no problem for him to come in and play as a tall on-baller opposed to Grant.
Croft in towards Darcy. Carlton with the answers. Camperelli's gang tackle, and it will be a bounce.
The thing I don't reckon why they play Kudafiti's at full back is you've got to use his legs in through the midfield there, and he's good disposal. So I think David Parkin's got it right there. Play him at centre-half back, but not at full back.
Yeah, it's a very specialist position, full-back, isn't it? Never played there myself and never wanted to be honest.
Pressure's too much.
Scott West, that's a free kick. It's good. He almost strangled Silvani.
The old English sheepdog got him by the throat.
The thing is, who's strangling who? Stephen Silvani just constantly intertwines his body against the opposition forward.
I don't think
Let's have a look
I think it had to be against Cook, that one. Well, here they come again, the Blues. Fraser Brown. Now, how the umpire said that. Dent just held his ground. That was good umpiring. Curley. Now Garlick. Chips it in short. Marked by Hudson. So Paul Hudson on the left. Bending at the half. A good spoiling tactics by Manton. Garlick dives on it. Surrounded by Carlton players. Here's Wine. Now Dimatina. Dodging and weaving. But Silvani did that well. Kudafiti's. That was brilliant by Silvani. Giulio. Listen to the Carlton crowd. Whitnall, look at the way he attacked that ball. Fantastic. Rowan Smith. Luke Darcy coming through the centre. An ordinary kick, but it may come off. Montgomery is looking for the hand pass. He finds Garlick. Garlick kicks across the face. Cooks around.
Somebody marked that.
Well, how did he mark that?
What? Oh, he had to go over the mark. He played on through the behind.
Should have been a point.
That was interesting, wasn't it? But the umpire had actually called play on, I think, so he actually let him have another shot.
It's just a great mark. Rolled his body beautifully and took the mark. It's like a... Yeah, you can't do that. That's out of bounds.
Yeah.
Well, he is.
What happened then? I think the umpire, I think, must have called play time on, so therefore the play had stopped. Otherwise, it had to be a behind to the Bulldogs.
He got a shot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Well, he's been a fantastic player over the years, Silvani. Named as fullback of the century. Allen on to Murphy. Murphy with that booming kick. Oh, Lance Whitnall pushing and shoving. But again, when that was kicked down there, Couchy, Whitnall was in front.
Yeah, that's right. I just wonder whether they turn it around and put Chris Grant on Lance Whitnall, just to stop the free scoring of Carlton at this stage, Lee.
Well, I guess you got the problem with the Bulldogs. Do you worry about percentage and try and stop Carlton's winning margin, or do you try and win the game yourself? If you do that, you're going to have to kick 15 goals from now on. So I guess you've got to try and have Grant in your forward half. But certainly the way the game is going, Grant has been no influence at all. He's had 10 kicks, but I know 4 of them have been free kicks. He's kicked a couple of goals, so I guess you couldn't say he's been certainly hopeless. But I think in general, certainly hasn't been a dominating player.
Well, they're down by 12 goals. Now that's out in the full.
Kudafiti's got some scalps though, like Nick Holland did a reasonable job against him. Robram last week at centre forward, and today, you know, Chris Grant, who's a class player.
And you mentioned that point of not necessarily at fullback, because he played on Matthew Richardson and probably was lowered his colours. Richardson, I think, kicked 5, maybe 6 goals, but that principle of keeping him towards half-back, not on the fullback line, is very valid.
That's Darcy Johnson, who was caught high then. Now you'll have to get a free kick here. So Brad Johnson, centre wing. Oh, dangerous.
Now, what happens
now, what is different with that with the other report? Now, I'm not saying that's reportable.
But yeah, there is very...
Has he
I think he might
reported him?
get reported. Yeah, he is.
Oh.
Craig Bradley's been reported. Montgomery was reported in the second term for a charge. So we're seeing a lot of this now in modern day football.
Well, it's interesting now. It's a 50-metre penalty as well. That's what I can't work out. I mean, certainly Certainly, I think there was no doubt there was a free kick. Well, the report's been made as well. But I don't know whether it was late enough to be a 50-metre penalty as well. That's what I can't quite work out.
Well, there's been 3 of them today.
I mean, it's shown to be a 50-metre penalty if the free kick or the mark has already been paid,
that's right,
and then there's a further infringement, or late enough for it to be a...
or is it in the action?
Yeah, well, certainly if it's in the action, one would have thought it's just a free kick.
Well, it's Jose Ramiro will kick for goal from about 20 metres. And the Carlton crowd are roaring their disapproval because they know Craig Bradley has been reported. There's the kick from Ramiro. And I think he's missed this as it drifted off to the right. You'll hear the roar. Listen to those Carlton fans.
Oh, don't they love it? Oh,
Scott Camporelli has taken the kick in rather than Bradley. I wonder if that means we go to a certain target when he takes the kick in.
Here's Grant, way out on centre wing now, Chris Grant. He's trying to beat a couple of Carlton players. Todd Curley, caught.
Good tackler.
Got in a hand pass. Manton.
He's a good tackler, isn't he, Brett Ratton?
one of the leading tacklers.
Fraser Brown did well. That was terrific vision. I think Michael Sexton's enjoying this game. Julio certainly would be. Here's Bradley.
He'll kick the goal.
Inside 50. Craig Bradley goes bang right through the middle. He is one of the best finishers in the competition, and he proved it again.
That is an absolutely perfectly balanced kicking action, isn't it, Craig Bradley? No distance at all from hand to foot, so he's got great control. And when he runs into the goals inside the 50-metre mark, you just about put the goal on the scoreboard. He very rarely misses, does Craig Bradley.
Fantastic technique, Lee, but the quickest wingman in Australia, and Sexton's having a great game. I mean, who would have thought he would have been a wingman and being so influential in a game like today?
At the moment, he's playing half-back on Stephen Collinrook, and he's about a foot taller.
Well, he's had 11 kicks and 4 handballs, Michael Sexton. Centre square has been very important today. So they haven't been able to break clear. That's a free kick, I'd say, to Dimatina, too high. Advantage paid as we see Brad Johnson race on and kick at goal. Silvani threw himself, launched himself backwards, and just touched the ball to behind.
Peter, it was great play by Franchino just to keep backing back and putting Paul Hudson out of the contest. It was great play, great strength. Don't give Paul Hudson any space and he'll find it very hard to get a kick.
Well, the kick in is meant for Murphy. Ramiro is there also. Murphy giving the umpire a bit of a burst.
One match doesn't really mean anything, but I think what's happened today is Carlton have actually won the ball in the clinches, and maybe a few of these Bulldogs players are tending to play forward of the action in the hope and the trust that their team's going to win the ball, and they're not winning it today, and they're being cut up accordingly.
They've been very hard out of Carlton. Murphy, Sexton, Diolio. Here he goes, Ronnie Diolio. He can go over the top here. No, he keeps going. He probably should have given it to Beaumont. He's Smith, but he does best, I think, running from the back line to Dent. Oh, that was a good kick. Terrific vision. Collinrook. No one deep, no one back, so he kicks short, and Grant takes a good mark. Cook on the lead. Now Collinrook can give it to Cook. Cook soccers it off the ground, and it didn't travel the required distance. Free kick. In the back, the umpire said on Hudson.
And that all came from the Delulio turnover. I mean, he had plenty of space to work his way through half forward, had plenty of Carlton players on, but as soon as he kicked it and Smith gained possession, rebounds and kills you.
That's one of his weaknesses, Lee.
Yeah.
He goes too quick. He does. He actually goes too quick. The last kick you saw to Whitnell, he steadied and took his time and kicked the ball beautifully. But sometimes his leg speed's so quick, he gets the ball over the top of the boot and it dribbles along.
Paul Hudson going for the second goal. Porter on and Allen off for Carlton. And Hudson has kicked his second.
It's a good point you mentioned about Delulio. Mark Fraser, who plays for Essendon as a player. Players who are, very, very quick. I mean, Peter Matera, I guess, is a very quick player who can sort of balance at the last minute and still deliver the ball accurately. But a lot of players who are very quick have trouble getting balanced sufficiently
Michael Cole for Geelong used to do it. His leg speed was too quick. Then he'd do this mongrel kick and it dropped short, and that's what happens to Delulio. The time before, he absolutely steadied, slowed down and kicked it beautifully.
Darcy and Porter. Dimatina out of the middle. Hurried kick, Massey chasing Johnson, two of the young players that have come up from the under-18s competition. That's Todd Curley, and ducking back to take the mark is Dean Rice.
Seems we've got a situation where Scott Wine played as a spare man back and Glenn Manton picked him up, and Manton's now playing as a forward against Wine as a defender. They've just contested the ball there. That's not going to be a good contest from Bulldogs' point of view.
Well, here's West coming through the middle. He kicks it wide. No mark. Free kick in the back against Dean Rice. The umpire deliberating there.
I think that was good umpiring, wasn't it? The umpire knew that Rice couldn't reach the ball. All he was trying to do was put pressure on Montgomery's body and a bit over-aggressive.
Montgomery, he was hoping someone was coming short, so he brings it wide. Pretty well done by Hudson. Good use of the body. Curley bending it back and wide and through for a behind.
Well, Franchino gave Paul Hudson a contest there and just tipped his body over enough to cause a mistake there.
Yep.
But we saw Rice and Montgomery. Montgomery was sensational last week, but Rice has just matched up beautiful with him because he's a good marking player himself.
Watching this contest up the other end of the field again between Wind and Manton. Now you've got Manton at full forward and Wind at full back, one out. Let's see if Carlton can get the ball into that part of the ground and really make that mismatch pay for them.
Well, Rice received from Beaumont then and kicked it down, but it eventually ends up with Dimatina. Look at Silvani coming from behind. Oh, that was fantastic. He put himself into the contest. Oh, well done by Collinor. Kicks it in towards full forward, but chipping in the Kudafiti, he just looks so calm and casual. Hamill is the flyer. Andrew McKay comes in to lend a hand. Here's Darcy. Now Croft. Cameron. West. Scott West is going to kick it long and high in towards half forward. Cook flies. Oh, a mile too early, and Kudafiti says, thank you very much, I'll have that one. Murphy. Now Massey. Well,
you know you're not having a good day when that happens. But the judgment's out completely.
This is Chris Massey. Centre wing, good mark. Whitnell gives it off to Bradley. Craig Bradley loves a run. Will he go again? He stops and gives a hand pass to Brown. Brown's been in good form in recent weeks. On the left, in towards full forward, and over the back is Dent to take a good mark. Dent will transfer play here. Montgomery has made space. They've got the loose man going. Now they should score something here because Garlick can run 50 metres. Two bounces. Will he go again? No, he chips it into Cook. Now Cook is a magnificent kick. He has to kick 50 metres. He's looking to give it off because these sort of still days it's difficult to kick the ball
long distances because of the heavy dew.
Heavy
dew, and you've got that heavy air, and it makes it very hard to kick more than 50 metres.
He is a very long kick normally. Cook now he's out to the right, trying to bend it back. Did he sneak it in from behind? I think he did.
He just knew he really had to kick it hard, didn't he? If he was to make the distance, and lost control accordingly.
Well,
it was beyond him.
He was a highly sought-after player when he was a young kid in Tassie.
Yes, it was, I think, 1991. He was drafted first, and Jason McCartney was drafted number 2 in the national draft that year.
Punched away by Dent. Dimatina, Dent, but look at the pressure they're under. Porter, Fraser Brown. Oh, they can raffle this one. Saxton says, I'll give it to you, and it's a goal to Andrew McKay.
Was that the back line boys looking after each other there?
It just kept on coming. Well, I mentioned a couple of times in the last few minutes that Scott Wind is somehow playing as a defender now. They're playing as a ruck behind the play, and of course Luke Darcy is playing in the centre square. But that is meaning there's a mobile Carlton forward against Wind, who's a very slow defender, and it's really not helping the Carlton, the Bulldogs' cause at all. I mean, you might as well get Wind off the field if he's not going to be in the ruck.
Well, centre bounce again. Porter flew high to Brown. Oh, gee, that was a terrific move. Dimatina, well,
that was the copybook, wasn't it? The Porter to Brown. Yeah, pretty tough, that catch to come from a defence to attack and take the ball with you, as Brown did then.
Yeah, it's very hard. You've got to get through the traffic, and sometimes you're better off to get it quickly on your boot.
The bounce almost towards half forward for the Blues. Porter, he's got a pretty good leap on him. There's Brown working overtime. And Scott West diving on it. And West has had a pretty... Oh, he's had 11 kicks and 13 handballs. You wouldn't have thought so, would you, really?
Yeah, he hasn't been able to really set up the play. I mean, I think he's been getting a little bit of it around the packs. But we've said Ratton's been good. They've both been good, those two. But that's one of the few contests where you could say that maybe the Bulldogs have even drawn it.
Matthew Hogg, free kick too high against Carlton. He didn't like it either. So Matthew Hogg, a former Bulldog himself, giving it off here to Beaumont, who has the bounce. He's going to bomb it long. Now this might bounce through. Oh, it gets a cruel bounce. And it's Matthew Croft who latches onto it and finds Dent.
I don't want to labour the point, but Manton versus Wine. Manton is getting 30 metres clear of Wine, but the Carlton blokes aren't kicking it to him. He's getting very frustrated because he's just there to be used. Eventually, he's certainly got to get it.
And Beaumont again. Jose. Ramiro, that is. Tyson Lane has got it. Over the... Well, a hand pass straight over here. This will be a bounce. That's good umpiring.
But Lee, if it continues, David Parkin's got to point that out, doesn't he? Just have a look upfield. Yeah, you've got a mismatch there against pace.
The trouble is, it's hard to point it out in the middle of a quarter.
On a three-quarter time.
Yeah, it's not going to last for long. It could not possibly last from the Bulldogs' point of view.
You'd rather play Scott Wine in through the midfield and boundary.
I've got no idea why he's back there. I can understand him starting out at the centre square potentially, but why he's playing permanent defence virtually and with Darcy in the ruck abuses me. I mean, as a defender, Scott Wine's a good ruckman.
Fraser Brown's kicked out. It's a free kick for some shepherding here, but Couchy, we're sending you down a three-quarter time.
Yeah, I will. I think they're good enough to pick it out themselves.
So Luke Darcy, a long kick. Silvani trips over his opponent. He's hard to play on Silvani. Murphy, Silvani again, just headed straight for the boundary line defensively, and
there's a bit of a la Danny Frawley all over you, but not getting the free kick.
Yeah, that's right.
He's the other one I wouldn't like to have played on too. I reckon Silvani and Frawley just human all leeches.
If you've got the measles, you've got them.
Now, the umpire's going to pay a free kick here. It'll go the way of Porter against Darcy.
The rotation of the Carlton forward line. Now Sexton is one out in the forward line opposed to Cameron. They've just rotated through that area constantly today, and certainly 24 goals is a fair return.
Colonel's shocker there. Sexton, this has set up a goal coming up here. This is Camporelli. Look at this, Messi on his own. Will run into an open goal, the young boy, and put it through.
And that's where the mismatch was. Scott Wine was actually on Chris Massey earlier, but just with his pace, and Scotty Wine was down there. They've got that slow bloke there, and Scotty, unfortunately, and just the pace of the Carlton players to get down there. Scott Caporelli, great spot by him to give it off to Massey goal.
And I wonder when the last time Carlton would have kicked 30 goals. They're already up to 25, and we've got, well, it's nearly three-quarter time. They'd have to kick 5 in the last quarter to kick the magical 30. Well, this is exciting stuff to watch. This free-flowing football. Here's Beaumont. Tapped down by Porter to Murphy. They might get another one before three-quarter because Fraser Brown goes to Manson. Almost. Johnson did well. This is Wirra. Receive from Colonel. Garlic. Coming inside, dangerous because Murphy chipped in. Murphy drives low and no mark. Good spoiling. And a free kick for holding the man. It'll go the Bulldogs' way to Colinook against Hogg.
It's interesting, isn't it? The inside 50s, which is just a fair idea of how many times you're going forward, is 48 to Carlton and still 38 to the Bulldogs. So they're getting a little bit forward, the Bulldogs, but Carlton are just destroying them every time they go into their forward 50.
Well, West is kicked here to Grant. They're close to three-quarter time. In fact, there's the siren. And the Bulldog champion, Chris Grant, has kicked 2. He will have to kick this from outside 50. He'll have to kick it about 52 metres, which is no mean feat under this heavy atmosphere. So the Carlton supporters still, even though they're a mile in front, they're willing him to miss.
I think they're enjoying their day at the footy today, the Blues supporters.
They are in full voice, the Blues.
Why not?
Chris Grant for goal number 3. It's too far out, I would think. And now that might be designated a point, I think. Yes. So that's a point on the board of the Bulldogs to end a quarter in which Carlton continued their dominance.
Do you think it should have been? I thought Scott Wine then knocked the ball through from the kick in, and you're not allowed to assist the ball through, but nevertheless, it's all just hypothetical now, but they're fantastic. Carlton 25-8, 158, leave the Bulldogs 11-10, 76.
Well, let's see if the Western Bulldogs can salvage something out of this final term. It's been a terrific performance by the Blues, one of their very best in recent years. Only surpassed probably by last week to beat the Crows on their own ground. Now Scott West to the half-forward line. Tyson Lane couldn't get him. Manton's been very, very good. That was Dean Rice receiving from Porter. Fraser Brown's been excellent again. Brown, that is a well-weighted kick. Good lead by D'Elio, who was best on ground in the first term when he had 11 kicks.
We are seeing today what makes, I guess, sport in general, let alone football, unpredictable. It's a human game, and the human performers, they're not like robots, are they? They have different performances on different days, and today all the Carlton guys are up, and the majority of the Bulldogs guys are just well below the type of capabilities we've seen.
Ron D'Elio from right on 50 hooks it across his body in towards the forward pocket area. It's no mark, but the ball in that danger area, and Matthew Dent belts it through for a behind to Carlton.
And one of the Carlton players wouldn't be aware of it. In fact, their highest score against the Footscray Western Bulldogs was in 1982 when they kicked 30 goals, 21-201. So that's 42 points away. They're going to have a big quarter to make it an all-time record.
Simon Garlick, well, he didn't have anyone to kick it to, so he just kicked to a space, and Dean Rice intercepted, and it will be a throw-in. Centre wing. Porter, and pretty handy when you can give Allen a rest also and bring on a tall leaping ruckman like Porter. I mean, it's a pretty good ruck strength they've got, and I think Lee, they're using them well too.
Well, they are. I mean, certainly Allen and I guess he surges forward. He was competitive in the centre square. I don't think the ruck contest to me seemed to be the difference in who cleared the ball at ground level, but Carlton certainly were winning down there. But his ability just to go from centre forward, which is, I guess, what the ruck play is about in these last few years. The McKernan used to do it, well, still does it. Everett, the ruck forwards are really become a dominant force in football.
Montgomery to Tyson Lane. Lane on centre wing. Down to half forward. Is that a mark to Smith? Umpire said no. And the umpire will come in and bounce.
Well, that was it. The two Bulldogs players collided, I guess.
He's got a blood.
Unfortunately,
a bit of blood
a cut
there.
right eye. So a clash of heads, I would think.
Blood.
Oh, that is nasty, isn't it?
That's going to be a few stitches.
Oh, that is nasty.
And look, they're icing the other eye, and the blood's on this one. Unless he's cut both.
Must have been a clash of heads.
He's cross-eyed.
We saw them. A clash of heads. And,
that just goes to show the Bulldogs day to day, doesn't it? When things go wrong, they just bump heads, run into each other, and you just. It was early on in the piece, wasn't it? You could see in the game, and you can tell in most games where they were a little bit scratchy. They dropped marks where they should have taken them, and sort of continued. And Cook misjudging a ball at three-quarter time during that play, and Joe Smithy and Scotty West to bump heads. Just unfortunate.
Well, it is unfortunate. I mean, I must admit, I'm not one who sometimes you want two players going at the ball so hard that occasionally they'll collide. But I guess, the way the Bulldogs game has gone, nothing's worked for them. And West and Smith, certainly a clash of heads.
By the way,
Smith split his eyebrow.
By the way, Rowan Smith, we said he's been quiet. I'm just looking at the stats. He's had 2 kicks and 2 handballs.
I mean, that is real quiet. I mean,
he's very quiet.
He's a high-quality player, so 4 possessions in 3/4 of football is, he's just a terrible.
It's not as if he's been tagged either today, Lee.
No, he's been all over the place. No direct opposition player assigned to him.
So the ball at half forward for the Western Bulldogs. Wine using his body well. McKay actually gave it to Ratton. Here's Murphy. Ratton again, too slow getting his boot to it. Garlick, Wine, here's a goal coming up. Curly into an open goal, and he has put it through.
Well, it's an interesting situation, I guess, because as the season goes on, wins obviously are very important as Stephen Silvani leaves the ground as we speak, but certainly percentage is going to determine a lot of positions on the ladder in the very end. So every goal is critical, whether it's for the teams that are competing for their final 8 positions. And certainly the Bulldogs are 13 percentage points ahead of St Kilda, so it is a big margin. But a big loss like this can reduce it quite sufficiently.
Now, I'm sure that Silvani going off is for a bit of a breather and just a rest. He's a champion. He's important to Carlton. I don't think he was injured.
He's had the groin soreness for quite a few weeks, so I guess a short game.
Yep. Oh, that was
Isn't that over umpiring?
We saw what it was for, but it wasn't much, was it?
It wasn't much at all. West in towards full forward. Free kick in front of goal here will go to Darcy and against Manton. I don't think Manton's too impressed either, and neither is Koutapidis. Well, the first one certainly was cheeky touch. We're now
playing handies in the schoolyard, Peter. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Well, let's have a look.
That's it. It's free kick.
Is the umpire? Are they fair dinkum that is the free kick?
It is a bloody contact sport.
Goodness me. Oh, Darcy has kicked the goal.
Well, they say the Bulldogs are very, very getting a lot of free kicks, and it just shows there that the umpire was favouring on that stage. It's laughable.
It is a vicious umpire, isn't it? I mean, 2 players are okay. It's a bit of bravado. They're not going to hurt each other. They're bumping off each other. So you bump too hard. Oh, gee.
Now, I mean, that's gone down through the ages. Well, worse happened in the past.
I don't think what used to happen applies now because the rules have changed, but I don't know whether that rule's changed.
Oh, no, that was just a bit of a bump. That was nothing. Anyway, let's get on with the game.
I can't believe it.
So the Bulldogs have scored a couple now. The big leap again, you saw at Porter. And the umpire will come in and bounce. Bradley, Ramiro's been quiet too.
The umpire 26 has made some very dubious decisions today, and Vince.
Yeah.
A big punch away was by Porter. There's Bradley tapping it over the back. Wirra's in all sorts of trouble down there. Alice caught. Carlton players working very hard there. Hogg, Brown. And they might appeal for holding the ball here, but they're not getting it. The umpire will bounce.
Oh, they did. They went at Fraser Brown too, the Bulldogs players. They didn't like whatever was said.
Actually, Bradley charged in late there, Lee, and they're just remonstrating with Bradley.
So a bounce up at Carlton's forward end, about 40 metres out. Adam White almost threw that away. Brown, he got his kick rather easily. Oh, Whitnell again. He's going to kick goal number 7 here.
Well, importantly, he read the flight of the ball quickly. Brown was under pressure in the pack. All he was going to be able to do was actually get the ball on the boot quickly. It was never going to be a long, powerful kick, but he got to the front position, Whitnell, and that's what forwards have to do. They have to be able to read the kick a bit better than defender.
So Lance Whitnell has kicked his 7th. Great effort. And his father, Graham Whitnell, was a handy wingman come half-forward flanker, come half-back flanker for the Blues during the early 70s and middle 70s, and he'd be very proud.
Different shaped player. He was, of course, a flanking type player, and young Lance, not a very tall player. He's not going to be a big, not ultra tall for a key position player, but certainly read the ball out of the pack quickly and watching the ball hard upfield.
That used to be a team rule with us. In a pack situation, get in front of your man.
Well, back we go to the middle. Can the Blues get that magical 30 goals? They've kicked 26. Just about be backing them to kick 30.
What I mean by that is that when the ball's bounce, you should move in front of your man at any stage. How often do you see a quick kick out of a pack and the man invariably in front marks the ball? And it happens so often.
Particularly forwards, Couch. I mean, defenders have to have at least one eye on the forward, one eye on the ball, but forwards can be just totally have their eye on the ball in those situations, don't they?
There was Craig Ellis getting it forward. Fraser Brown, Glenn Manton, Andrew Mackay. Whitnell again. Oh, he's got it again. Good play, and again he was in front attacking that ball, and that is a great kick. Oh, the mark is dropped in there by D'Elio. Should have snaffled that one. Collinook got that out with a quick hand pass to Cameron. This is Matthew Dent. But nothing flowing for the Western Bulldogs. They've been well beaten today. A low trajectory kick. Mackay gets himself there as centre wing. Whitnell, oh, that was a clever dummy. And then he brought it in towards half forward, and D'Elio again. Another short kick. And the lead is by Hamill, and he will kick for goal from 40 metres.
Picking ducks out of the pond now, aren't they? They're really just cutting up the Bulldogs. Confidence is just an amazing thing. We talk about it all the time. You can't see it, you can't touch it. You don't know where it comes from, you don't know where it goes, but we know when it exists in a game of football, as it does for Carlton today, they're just destroying the Bulldogs, who today, they were confident last week. Today, it's just one-way traffic against them.
Aaron Hamill for goal number 4. And the Carlton crowd are happy behind the goals as he puts it through.
One-way traffic, and it was interesting when that ball came out of defence and Mackay gave it to Whitnell. He looked forward. There's 3 Carlton players forward of the ball. It's just a matter of choosing which one will I go to.
Great poise again to steady and hit the D'Elio beautiful. Steadies again D'Elio, and Hamill, who's been a very good player for Carlton, was taken off the ground the first quarter. It's really showed David Parkin something in the second and third quarters and the last.
Well, they're up to 27, the Blues. Porter. Michael Martin, Grant, Koutafidis. Well done, Koutafidis, to get there and put the spoil on. And gee, he looks an athlete, doesn't he, when he lopes away with that ball. Here's White. Andrew Mackay, just a little fumble. Back it comes in the direction of Mackay. The Bulldogs swoop, and the umpire will bounce.
Yeah, I guess it's a perverse thing to say, I guess, but Kouta's been unlucky. He's been born with such physical talent that everyone has such high expectations of him, I think. Because, as you say, for a bloke of his height and the agility and the ball skills, that one-handed pluck pick-up that he's made it almost patented, people expect that he should dominate game after game.
I don't believe he reads the play, Lee. That's why he's got to play centre-half back and let somebody lead him to the ball. He's not a great reader of the play, and Andrew Abuse at Geelong wasn't a great read of the play. He had to have the ball coming towards him, and he played sensational in the back pocket, but put him on the ball, he struggled to get a kick, as you see some blokes do.
Yeah.
Koutafidis is the same. He really did struggle on the wing there for a long time this year.
Well, the big thump comes back in the direction of Ratton. Dimartino, he ran into a brick wall. Collinook, quick kick. Matthew Hogg has taken the mark. Oh, the Blues are going to go forward again here.
Just hunting in packs all the time, Peter. It was 3 at Collinook then.
Well, there's a low kick. Camporelli must have been touched because the umpire called play on. Camporelli bends it back. Curry.
Oh,
how good this bloke.
Wow. I mean, that was a mark because there was 5 guys all running it at different angles. But he came down with it again, did Lance Whitnell.
Well, he's going for goal number 8, Lee.
It's a fair effort.
He's saying, how long's this league footy been going on? It's like Shallum P's taking mark.
I don't know whether he was in the best position, but he certainly ended up in the best spot. Got both hands on it. And
well, I can't wait to get home tonight because I've got a mate who reckons that he's overrated. Lance Whitnell, he told me early in the year there'll be a phone call made tonight.
Looks like someone got caught up in that pack of players.
He hits the pack hard, though. That's the great thing about Lance Whitnell. He pushes everybody over and keeps his line on the ball beautiful.
Lance Whitnell for goal number 8. Kicks right through the middle. Great performance this by the young centre-half forward.
It's quite unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of times the ball's been kicked out in front and he's just had strong hands, but that was the genuine pack mark, 20 metres from goal. Have a look at this. That must have been touched off the boot because Camporelli had to play on. But have a look at this. They were converging from all angles.
How do you get there?
Judgment.
He's taken 11 marks today, Lee.
It's big effort, isn't it? Big effort. 13 kicks, 5 handballs, 11 marks and 8 goals. Fair little effort.
Well, two things. Can Carlton get 30 and can Lance Whitnell kick 10? He's got 8 at the moment as the quick kick comes down forward and a holding decision. The umpire signalling on Chris Grant. There didn't look to be much in that either. But Grant, the low trajectory kickers are beautiful. Tyson Lane is marked. He'll have to kick it 50 metres. Tyson Lane, just a young player on the way up. It's a pretty good kick. Right on that 50-metre line, a long, high kick. It clears the fence and it's a goal.
But nobody's clapping and cheering the Bulldogs. I think they realise it's all over, and it was probably at half-time.
A few flags waving. It's interesting, but the conversion's been fantastic. I mean, Bulldogs 14-10, that's pretty good. Since quarter time, Carlton have kicked 21 goals, 3. Just not only have they been getting shots at goal, they've just been so accurate in their conversion.
And there's not a breath of wind either.
No, it's a perfect day for
just look at the flags. It's perfect day. You think it'll be a hamstring tested today though, because it's a little bit cool.
I never had him, Pete.
He didn't run fast enough. As we see Wine flipping it over the back. This is West. Courage needed on the leading play. There's Tyson Lane again coming out in front of White and has taken the mark. And he's a strong build of a kid.
He's got the tape on his nose to make him breathe a bit better there.
Yeah, that's that thing to open up the nostrils, isn't it? To try and...
it's like race horses with the crossover nose band.
Keep the nostrils flared, yeah. So I guess every little bit helps. That's all you can
You've been around
say.
your mate Mark Bairstow too much, Couchy. And all these horse terms. So Tyson Lane, he kicked that last one beautifully from 50, so the distance certainly won't be a doubt. Let's have a look at the accuracy as he stabs at this one and has just missed. So the Blues on 28 at the moment. They've got 10 minutes to score 2 goals, so you would certainly think they would do that. Justin Murphy on the Manton. Ratton thought about giving it, then kicks it back to Murphy.
I'm not sure what he did that for. I think he thought maybe we'll go out the opposite side, but Murphy came down
Whitnell
the side.
again. Oh, he flew through the air, but he created the contest, which has allowed the ball to come loose. And this is Diulio. That is a clever kick to Bradley. Bradley doesn't muck around. He turns around and belts it long up into the danger area. They all kicked out of it. It was Rice kicked out with the foot. Sometimes that can be interpreted as a deliberate kick out. Taken away by Collinup to the half back line. This is Curley. Now Dent. Dent, no one to give it to, so he bends it out wide, hoping it'll bounce properly for the running Johnson. He's got it. Looking for Grant. Doesn't reach him. This is Hudson, a bounce. He's got a hand pass. Is Hudson? No, he kicks. And he may have goal. I think he has. Yes.
Well, third goal to Paul Hudson, but he's certainly only his 7th kick, so he certainly hasn't had a lot of the ball. And the crowd at Optus Oval Day for the co-tenors, 26,697.
Great running kick by Brad Johnson just to quickly get it on his boot. Chris Grant's gone for the shepherd and fallen over. And Hudson with his great poise and skill, as you know, great left foot snap. But you just saw Lance Whitnell there contest that ball at centre half forward. And when we had Barry Stoneham at centre half forward, when he contested the ball, it made it very easy for the half forward flankers to get it, because he'd take 3 out, and that's what Lance Whitnell's done today.
Wine and Porter, they both miss it. Scott Wine's got support from West. And West is brought to ground. And they've tackled very well when they haven't got the ball themselves.
Who the man? Brett Ratton. That close quarters tackling work ethic in the middle of packs. I think that's why Ratton ends up winning best and fairest, because it's his value in the middle of the packs is just so well recognised by the club level.
Scott West attacked from all angles. And Fraser Brown, he likes a bit of a dust up. fiery customer. What's the umpire going to do here? He's just going to bounce it. And players around the ball, there must be about 16 players around this bounce. Right in the centre of the ground. An amazing performance by Carlton. No one would have suggested they'd be this far in front. That's White getting it towards D'Elio. Garlick is pretty quick. He drives it out wide. The mark taken by Brett Montgomery. So Montgomery just outside 50. Drives it down looking for Darcy. Darcy in front, the ball hits the deck. Still Darcy. He's got it. Kicked it on the right foot. Now he's lost it to Anthony Francina, who gives it off to D'Elio. This is good running by the Blues. Up towards half forward. Whitnell again in front. Gets in a hand pass. That was good. Ratton. Still Ratton. And the umpire will have to come in and bounce this, and he will.
Yes, it's just the game is being played out now. But really, the Bulldogs 15-11, that's a decent score, isn't it? That's going to win 101 points. That wins as many games as it loses. So it's been a real free-flowing game, 43 goals. It's been great entertainment for the 26,000 people who've come to watch it, and I hope the people watching it live as well.
Well, this is good play by Grant. Good teamwork by the Bulldogs. And Chris Grant, it's not their day, the Bulldogs, because he has hit the post. But that was a good build-up right down that wing. Tyson Lane gave off a hand pass. And, well, they're still battling away there, but I agree with you, Lee. That can be a winning score on in a number of games, but it's been a free-flowing game all day.
Well, just the Carlton's ability to score has just been magnificent. The way they have set up their attack. Certainly, they've been a low-scoring team. The first half of the season, the thought about Carlton was they weren't winning many games. Of course, their forward line just couldn't kick a winning score. But today, their percentages conversion for the amount of times they've got into the forward part of the ground has just been tremendous.
Well, this is Manton. We're having a bit of keepings off there. McKay, centre wing, Camberelli, West, and the umpire will come in and bounce it. 28-9, plays 15-12, and we thought it was going to be a tough, tight contest, but certainly not for Carlton to career away like this.
No one could have possibly forecast a winning margin to this extent. Certainly, I guess you've got to judge form recently, and certainly recent form, Carlton haven't been too bad. They've had a pretty good patch. They've won in Adelaide last week, of course. Beat Hawthorn a couple of games ago, so they've certainly been much better in the recent month. But to come here to beat the Bulldogs, who haven't lost at Optus Oval this year, even though it's their home ground, of course, as well. So it's a fantastic effort by the Blues.
Darcy is marked way out at half forward, and he can chip it across to Garlick, but he's electing to find Tyson Lane. And he does. Lane kicks to half forward. Stumped away. Here's Martin. Back to Hudson. Hudson caught. Taken away by Porter. Now Francina. Now Whitnell. He's down on the half-back line at the moment. Now Murphy. Francina again. Oh, the Carlton play wasn't quite ready for it. Camperelli. Beaumont. Martin was there with Curley. And Todd Curley, that was cleverly done. Hudson, McKay, now Fraser Brown. They had the numbers there, the Blues. Martin is there. White, knocked back by Bradley. So the Bulldogs still battling away there and hard, but it's a free kick out here on centre wing. It'll go the way of the Blues. It looks like Andrew McKay is going to be the recipient.
She's been good too, McKay across half-back. Just been one of that Carlton defence that's done plenty of attack launching from back that part of the ground.
The ball on centre. He's honest, isn't he?
I think is
very honest.
Is it Tyson Lane being dispatched to interchange? We can see the bloodied lip by the look of it.
Andrew McKay hasn't got a lot of leg speed, but boy, he's got a big heart. There he is, number 5 for the Blues. He's been a terrific contributor since being recruited from South Australia. Cook's back on the ground in place of Tyson Lane. So Andrew McKay kicks to the half-forward line, or the big thump over the back. Murphy, he seems to be maturing a bit as a player, Murphy.
Yep.
Fraser Brown. Over the back, chance for the Blues to get goal number 29. They're still in there with a chance. Hogg, now Dean Rice. Rice belts it over the fence for a goal. Terrific finish.
Yeah, that was a very, very skillful finish. He didn't have a lot of time, Dean Rice. I mean, he's facing one way. He's going to have to kick the ball over the left shoulder, but he just was able to get the ball across the boot just to curl it back. And have a look at this attack on the ball. Hamill probably caught thigh, maybe, as he attacked that contest. The Bulldogs player behind play is on the ground. I don't know if they're calling for a stretch. I can't quite pick up.
Montgomery.
Which was it, Montgomery? I don't know whether, was it from that particular clash?
Oh, that's a cork thigh for sure.
Yeah, hopefully, well, cork thigh's bad enough, I guess, but hopefully it was just a clash of legs and bruised muscle. Yeah,
they really do hurt, those corkies in the middle of the thigh. Well, the crowd are in.
Well, wouldn't they like to see
goal
this
number
30th goal?
They're waiting on.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any Carlton fan that's left the ground. I'm certainly. Plenty of the Bulldogs are faithful, have probably said it's enough for us, we're going home, but wouldn't they love a 30-goal result?
Well, it's 4.5 minutes they've got in which to score that that one goal to get that magical 30. It's not seen too often. That's Grant getting it to Martin. Cook on the lead has Mark. He'd be glad Silvani's not on the ground. James Cook.
Well, look at the blonde hair, the blue mouth guard. It all matches. Yeah.
So he's put the mark on the ground. He is a...
That mouth guard. What a colour.
He's a huge kick. He's got a bit of an angle to contend with here. Oh, he only has to kick the ball about 40 metres. He puts the mouth guard down the sock.
He does take his time.
And the crowd are giving it to him.
He does take his time.
This is shades of Scott Cummings.
It is, yeah.
And now he's deliberately, I reckon he's deliberately take a little bit longer now. You'd think it was a shot for the winning goal, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
James Cook kicks a goal for his second, and after all that he's missed, I think. Or is it a free kick? Umpire might be, no, it's a point. The Blues, look at the time. We're under the 4 minutes to go now. Bradley, it's over the back. It could be a loose ball here. It was Dean Rice getting in the hand pass. Oh, interception there was very, very good. This is Steve Collinwood. Darcy on the left. And he's kicked it straight down here to Manton. He read that well. Now he can run off and bounce. He can still run. Have another one. He's looking to...
They're just using the ball to each other, aren't they? Now it's... the game has stopped. I've got to say that. It has stopped, hasn't it?
Yep.
Most of the venom's gone out of it. Carlton would like that 30th goal, but I think they think they've done enough for today too. They've just had a real big win. And, yeah, there's not a lot of life and movement in the game now.
Well, there's Franchina and Massey. And also Manton involved there. It's Massey who kicks it up to the half-forward line. Here's Ratton. Oh, cleverly done. A beautiful ball. Maybe they will get goal number 30 because Fraser Brown's got it. Kicks it to McKay, and he has Mark.
And a million of them forward.
Well, he's 60 metres out from goal.
Whittle on his own in the pocket.
Yes, can Whittle get another one? Oh, he couldn't quite hang on to it. The crowd were willing him to. It's over the line. It'll be a throw-in, and the time clock showing 2 minutes and 40 to go in this game. So a throw-in. Inside 50 for the Blues. Fraser Brown tries to crash his way through. Sock it off the ground, but it was by Collinwood. So it's a behind the Carlton.
Someone wrote me a letter during the week saying that to assist goal umpires, any ball that comes off below the knees of the opposition should be a goal too. Maybe get a bit complicated. In other words, if you can't kick it off the ground through your defensive goal to draw a behind, if you're going to knock it through, fine. But there's no confusion then, which is an interesting point made by...
Well, Matthew Dent's kicked out in the full, so I think it'd be fitting if Carlton get... Oh, they might get it because Fraser Brown has marked... He'll have to kick at 50, and he doesn't want to have a shot from there. He's looking around for the short kick. The crowd want that 30th goal. They've got 2 minutes in which to get it. You can see he wants to pass it off. Here it comes. Ratton waited, and Grant has taken the mark. So Grant finds Martin. No, it's coming back, is it? Or a 50-metre penalty. That's what it is. So Grant will be brought right down to the centre of the ground. So this is Chris Grant, has tried hard, as he always does, has kicked 2 goals. So brings it wide, and the leading player is Tyson Lane. He has kicked 1, and he kicked a goal earlier in this quarter from this identical position, and he cleared the fence easily.
It's only his second game for the year. Tyson Lane debuted in 1995 from Melton.
Well, if he kicks it, it'll go back to the centre, and Carlton will have about a minute in which to score their 30th. It is close. I think he's missed. Yes. So let's look at the time clock. I'm almost willing this home myself here, Lee.
Well, that 40-minute second quarter is made this game run very late in terms of time from opening siren to closing siren. It's going to be a very, very long game.
I can't remember finishing a game at this time at nearly 5 o'clock. This is Manton. Fraser Brown. Here they go. They've got the loose man going. Whoa, Franchini, you're in trouble. But even then they get away with it. Brown, oh, he's kicked it straight to Scott West. Oh, Manton did well. Quick hand pass. Here's a goal coming up to Hudson, maybe. He's got an open goal coming up, and I think he's missed.
Yeah, he wouldn't miss many from there, Paul Hudson. He is a very, very good converter from the opportunities. Not that he's had a lot of opportunities today. He's kicked 3 goals, but certainly hasn't been an influence in the game. It's just, I guess, 3 goals is normally a pretty good performance by a half forward, but it's been such a high-scoring game that Carlton have just done it so much better.
Well, Murphy's kicked that. Oh, brilliant mark by White. Oh, could it be a free kick, or is it against Dean Rice? No, it's going to him, and just doesn't quite make the mark. There's still a chance, the Blues. Here they come. Camporelli kicks into the man. Still Scott Camporelli. He's got Sexton. Now Dent for the Bulldogs. Dent kicks it wide. Let's look at the time clock. 20 seconds. Fraser Brown brings it inside. That gives them a chance. Dean Rice. Here's their chance. Yes. Sexton. Oh, the pressure on you, Michael Sexton, to kick goal number 30.
Don't the supporters know it? They're all wanting this 30 goals. They're willing it through.
He's kicked 1. Oh, there's a siren, and wouldn't this be fitting if Michael Sexton could kick the 30th goal of the game to win a brilliant performance by the Blues. It'll have to be out to the right, and he's missed. Wow, that's disappointing, but what a great performance, Lee, by the Blues.
Oh, they were just fantastic, weren't they? Didn't get the 30 goals, but a 29-goal performance was just a fantastic effort by Carlton to win comfortably. Craig Bradley, very good for Carlton. So Carlton, 29-11, 185, beat Bulldogs 15-15, 105, and it's good afternoon from Optus Oval.